And we're alive. At least I hope we are. It says we're alive on the little preview screen. How's it going, guys? We're gonna do some experimenting today. And farming. And farming. And we will do some farming. Alright, so I'm checking out another mod today. That I may at 9 o'clock roll back the save and remove. Because I've been working on the next patch. I'll show you guys the mod I'm working on, or I'm looking at right now. So this is Sim Settlements 2 Settlement Management Terminal by CBR Gamer. CBR Gamer has been responsible for a lot of the fixes for the resource system because he's very, very data driven. And so I want to see what kind of reports he's come up with, because I came up with a report and I have another one in mind, but that's all I came up with 2 reports in mind. And this next patch, I want to add a bunch of reports. So you guys who like data or are trying to figure out why your settlement isn't working the way you want it to, I want to add some reports. So I'm hoping to get some ideas, and I figure you guys will have some input too about what kind of reports we need in some settlements too. So let's build up the this terminal here. Here we go, settlement management terminal. Yeah, we'll just set it out here. Did I build it backwards? Oh, it needs to appear. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, nice. Show generic tracking menu. Utilities terminal. Well, I appreciate that he's taking advantage of the stuff we got here in the scripts and everything. That's awesome. So here, I'll show you guys. I'm just doing this right now for the for our little pre 9 o'clock. I'm sure I'll go into this stuff again later because I want a lot of feedback on these. So I started coming up with a report, and I wanted to take all the stuff I've learned over the past few years about how to do stuff in the interface and all right, can I make a nicer report than I usually do? Because SS1 reports were a little janky. So this is what I came up with so far. So I've only got one report, but it's got a lot of information in it. So you go to this needs report. This is going to be in the next patch, and it takes a second to generate. And it's going to show you a breakdown, and my apologies for how dirty this screen is in Starfield. I should probably move this terminal, or this city planner stuff, but I think you guys should still be able to read it. It takes you a breakdown, and it kind of shows you where all of the resources are. So we're producing, so our 41 is like what you see in the HUD. So if we were to exit out, we should see that it should be the same number in the HUD. Produced is the amount actually being made by agricultural or props. Then the needed is how much the people here actually need to survive based on, number of people, and like any plots that require, like the residential and recreational can add extra needs to food. Import would be if you're taking any in from the caravan network. So for example, if the need were actually 81, then our import might be 20 instead of our export. And so the export is the amount we're sending out to other settlements. And then surplus is resources that aren't being exported but are being produced in surplus. So that would the surplus should generally be 0 for all settlements until you get to a point where you have more than your entire network needs. And then down at the bottom there is showing you your entire network. And what I thought that would be useful for is figuring out how much you have available for HQ at a glance. So you could go to any settlement that's in your network and see the network totals and be like, oh, okay, so I'm producing. Or if you're like, you know what, I wonder what I should build here. Like, my guys are all full, but I have some extra workers. Like, what should I put them on? And this could tell you, could see where your surpluses are and kind of figure out where to go next. So then we got the same thing for water. So we're producing 64. We need 76. That's just in Starlight. And then in our network, you can see we're way short. We're down over 120 in our network. So water is like our biggest problem right now, I think. Power, we have tons of excess because I have several settlements generating power. Starlight alone has a surplus of 774, and we've got over 1,000 on the network. So we're doing great in power because that's all I focused my efforts on. And then let's see, we go to defense. Same thing. Obviously, the network doesn't make any sense for defense, but you can still see your total produced versus total needed. I could probably figure out, I'll say, because I can't really do network produced, network needed. I could do empire produced, empire needed, like look at your whole settlement group. I could change that for this particular report. But spoiler alert, in the 3.0 patch, we will have defense sharing too. So that's kind of why I did it this way, of just like future proofing it. And then if we go to cleanliness, this is where the reports I think start getting interesting, where I have some information that maybe some of these other reports don't, because I have access to, I mean, they have access, the people writing these like CBR Gamer and Pra who write these kind of report utilities usually, they can see my code, but they probably don't know where to look to find all these formulas. And so I've got some details I can give you guys about how all the under the hood stuff works in case that's interesting, or if you want to, you know, manipulate your gameplay chance or your gameplay around it. So you can see, because our cleaning rate is 0, our outbreak chance is 100%. We're guaranteed we're going to get a disease as soon as there is a cap of like 3 diseases per settlement. So even though we're at 100% outbreak, if we've already got 3 diseases floating around, they won't keep popping up until another outbreak is cleared, just because it would get overwhelming. Because I think there's like 40 diseases in the system, so it'd be pretty nasty if you just got a new one every day. You can see we've only got 10 points of hygiene versus 143 points of pollution, and it tells you where it's coming from. And then if we go to happiness, this one, I think this is a report I had back in SS1. It was like a happiness breakdown report trying to explain the happiness formula. I'm not sure if I did this correctly. I remember it took a long time to get all the kinks worked out, so I wouldn't be shocked if my math is wrong somewhere. This checks out though. Like the food shortage is giving me -4 to happiness. I have a total bonus of 18. And since your baseline, when all your other needs are met, is 80, then 80 plus 14 is 94, right? So that checks out. So it looks correct. Why I'm trending toward 97, I don't know. So like I think this happiness report might need somebody else to go over the math. And then population, here's another interesting data point I don't think you usually get in these reports, is chance of recruitment. So we're already at max population, so we have a 0% chance of recruitment, but you know, seeing how happiness and everything affects your chance of recruitment, I think could be interesting for folks to see. So this is what I've come up with so far. So this is just one of the reports, and I want to do more reports. I want to give you guys a bunch of cool data. So those of you who are just like trying to dig in, you don't have to go to console commands or you know, dig around on the wiki to try and figure stuff out. You could actually just go in and see the data in game. It's not something I'm gonna like push in front of everybody. Like there's probably not gonna be any tutorial about the reports. It's just gonna be something for people who really get into it to dig in and find. Let's check with chat. Let's see here. Yes, he lives, Quester. Was wondering what the ETA is on Conqueror 2. We don't have an ETA on it. In fact, Conqueror 2 is not even being developed actively, so because Conqueror 1 never got finished. So our focus right now is to avoid having another Conqueror situation where we end up with a mod that's unfinished, and we're finishing our story with Jake. And then if all goes well and the stars align and we can get all the voice actors back, then you know, Starfield hasn't taken away most of the development team, then we'll talk about trying to get the gang back together to bring Conqueror to SS2. I would love to do that. That would make me feel like we completed the puzzle. Like we got everything done that we started out to do. I would be so ecstatic if we could get Conqueror 2 happening. Yeah, oh Lord, is that some in-game reports? Yeah, I'm starting to mess around with in-game reports for the next patch because that was the most requested feature on my little poll. So I'm trying to get like as much data as I can, but I also don't want. I want to like try and isolate it into reports that I think like put it in a form where it's easily digestible, and so it'll be useful to most folks, as opposed to, I know some of the reports that other mods have added, which we're going to check one of those out, can get a little crazy with their data, and I want to kind of find the happy medium of like giving you guys enough information but not so much you're drowning in it, and I also kind of want to hide it away for people who like it, and then the folks who don't want to deal with it just can ignore it. Like as far as I'm concerned, like this is, if we just go into here, the stuff on the HUD, this is the data most people need. So it's kind of like the next level of person after that, where it's like, that's not quite enough. I want to know what the numbers are on those. So like, what are the numbers that make up all those meters on the left? And then like, that's where I started with that needs report, is it breaks down all the numbers that make up all those meters on the left. That's where I started with that report. So I'm hoping, I'm going to show it off a couple of times during the stream to try and get some feedback from folks and see if there's other data points we need to add. The second report I had in my mind before I even started looking through these, and that's the other thing, is I want to first get all my ideas on paper and then start looking at other people's reports, because I don't want them to feel like I'm just ripping off their ideas. Like, I'm sure CBR Gamer would be happy to see some of his report ideas make it into the base mod. It would just mean that everybody gets them, and I will absolutely give him credit for the ideas. But I do want to see if there's anything unique I can come up with on my own, just because I'm curious of like, is my head in the right space for what players are actually after. For data points. So that is what we're going to show off a little bit here. That's just going to be for, you know, another 10-15 minutes, and then I'll probably do it again during the chat period, because I want to get some feedback from when we have our max audience. So yeah, that Charles, that new tool is something that'll be coming in the patch, not this Friday, but the Friday after, unless something bad happens and then I have to delay it. But presumably, should have a patch the Friday after this one. There are 40 diseases in the system. Okay, cool. Yeah, I installed this. I installed CBR Gamer's management terminal because I want to check out and see what kind of reports he's got. But the other report I'm going to do besides that needs one is just like a plot breakdown. I think that's an easy one, and it makes sense. Like, you know, even if you were just from an immersive standpoint, if we've got the comm array and all this, and you've got the ASAM sensors are supposed to communicate, so being able to get a query of all the different plot subclasses you have and what levels they are, I think that would be pretty useful. And just interesting. Deep dive diving. Good evening. I'm consistently had trouble with Vim or Vigor where Claudia Mansfield is underneath the platform in water. Yeah, as far as I can tell, that's just what happens if you've got... as far as I can tell, it has to be with certain mods, because like whenever... I've never ever been able to replicate that, like, and I'm playing in the slow order with just, you know, the 10 mods I've made. I have no idea why that happens. Like, we did it the same way every other dead body is done in the whole game, which is just you put them on the ground, you add this thing called Disable Havoc, and you just leave them there. So I don't know why Claudia is sinking for some people. My best guess is it has to do something with LOD, so I don't know if you have any LOD mods, or I don't know what's going on there, but until I can replicate something, it's kind of hard. I can't do anything about it. Oscar Fry, so crazy idea, you need to make ASAM version of the 4 main power armor. Well, I won't be doing that, but somebody could. All right, let's check out the ASAM utilities terminal and see what kind of reports we have in here. So city statistics. Wait a moment. Okay. Oh man, what kind of data is he loading? That we need a refresh screen. Data terminal has been loaded. Refresh. Okay, what do we got here? 14 out of 14 home plots used. 2 extra beds used. 18 out of 19 job. Okay, so a lot of detailed information here. 6 out of 6 plot hobbies engaged in. Happiness 94, sanitation negative 38, exporting 20 food. Okay, so very similar data, just displayed in a little different way. Let's see what happens when you click on these. Sharing 0, you cannot share. Okay, deficit of 10 defense. Do they all just refresh it maybe? Okay, yeah, these are just data screens. Okay, so similar data. Actually, I'm getting more exhaustive than he is usually. Usually, I expect CBR really loves data, so I would have assumed he would have went even more detailed than I did. So that's interesting. Okay, what do we got here? Data for network containing Starlight Drive-In. The surplus deficits below only include data from settlements that can share that resource. So we have a surplus of 1 food. Okay, so this is like the entire network. A deficit of 138 water. Power surplus is 0. Which we know is not true. That's actually, oh, I wonder, oh, it's probably got it misconstrued. CBR, if you're watching, looks like, I think you've got your power and defense flipped on this report. Oh, interesting. View cities on the network. What does this do? Okay, I don't know how to read this. Oh, food, let's see. -E, what would that be? -E, SE, I don't know what that would mean. Is that a -E and a deficit, maybe? I'm sure he's got... I bet it's explained on his Nexus page. But this is interesting, being able to see which settlements are on the network here with you. That's actually a good idea. That's something... That's one of the reasons we're working on a map, is because we want to be able to show stuff like that. Because right now it's not easy to see that information. Interesting. Okay. Back to main menu. ASAM sensor statistics. So this is where I'm guessing is like a plot breakdown. So this software is actually available on Nexus now. This isn't mine. This is CBR Gamer made this and released it quite a while ago. I think I had posted it in a video. Here, I'll post a link right now. I got it up on my screen here. So if anybody wants to check out this thing that we're looking at, this is this mod. CBR Gamer helps me a lot with bugs in the code, in like especially the resource code. And part of digging in to find that, I'm sure, is him making reports like this to try and figure out what the hell's going on under the hood. So this is like really great if you're really trying to like troubleshoot or figure out what's going on with SS2 under the hood for you. This kind of gives you a ton of data. So I'm looking through this right now to see if there's any data points that I'm not displaying yet or I don't have on paper planned that would be useful. All plots in need. What would that mean? So maybe that's plots that are short on something, like maybe these need attention. Maybe that's what that is. What happens if I click on it? All plots in need. Yeah, okay. So it shows there's 4 of them are inactive. 3 of them are occupied out of the 4. So 3 of them are probably inactive from incapacitated settlers. So that'd be interesting information. Low occupancy. So 1 of these is short a person. That makes sense. Yep, 3 are incapacitated. Okay. Some of them need defense. That's probably in order for them to upgrade. They're short on defense. So there's 6 of them that are like that and 6 out of 7 are occupied. Yeah, this is very interesting information. This is really deep. This is the kind of stuff where I'm probably going to leave in CBR Gamer's domain. Like, I feel like this is like, what I want to avoid is presenting so much information to folks that their eyes glaze over and they feel like, oh, I'm playing the wrong mod, right? Like, I want to avoid that. So like the other way I can do it though to get deep information is to put in like a warning, like or bury it into an advanced menu, like reports for hardcore data nerds, you know, like really bury it in there. So I don't want casual players to find this stuff effectively, because then their eyes are gonna glaze over and they're gonna think they're playing the wrong game. So that's why I'm trying to figure out the right balance here. Okay, interesting. Okay, so this is similar to what I was planning on doing, except he's going way more in detail with it, this would probably be really useful to some of you guys who like figuring all this stuff out. But if figuring out the I'm still trying to figure out what some of this means. Like, what is 1 out of 2? Does it mean 1 out of 2 are occupied? Because the L01's probably not occupied. That's probably what that means. I'm sure all of this is on his description. I'm just trying to figure it out, because I prefer. I should say I assume that most people don't read any documentation I put out, so I try and get as much into the mod as in a self-explanatory way as possible. I know that we're failing left, right, and center on that, but that's what I'm trying. It's what I'm trying to get to, which is again why we're working on the map, because I think that's our biggest failing right now. Of failing to explain mechanics is the arbitrary range on things is completely obfuscated. Let's see. Okay, citizen statistics. What do we got here? Select an option below for citizens. Show all 17. Show special statistics. Non-robot citizens with no home or bed. With a bed but no home. With no hobby. Citizens with disease. Oh, this is a type of thing I think a lot of people have been asking me for a tracker on, of find all the disease settlers so they could go run around and give them disease cures. Oh, he's even got an automatically distribute cures. Interesting. Show a list of disease citizens. I want to see this. Oh, cool. I don't know his code's pretty crazy there. HJETAD. I don't know what all that means, but it looks cool. It looks like it's like their genetic coding or something. Like, I have no idea what it all. I'm sure it all means something. It's all coded out, but it looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, it's showing you what they're working on too. It shows their job. Interesting. Change citizen details to show. Currently tracking 0 out of 7 listed actors. Oh, can I click on these to track them? Let's see. Stats. That's weird. It's not showing his stats. I wonder if that's like a to-do feature. Like he's planning on adding that later. Needs a hobby. Works at a coal plant. Needs a home or a bed. Use disease secure item. Track this citizen. Okay. Let's track him. I want to see why doesn't he have a home or a bed? And then we'll look at the last report too. So let's see here. Show workshop beds producing food. Oh, because these are all the miscellaneous, or the probably the vanilla items is probably what this is. Producing food. What's this? A gourd. I didn't know there were any gourds just laying around in here. Okay, yeah, so that must be vanilla items. Refresh data. What are these tools? Stop tracking all selected items. Refresh all plots. Multiple assignment warning on exit is off. Ignore unassigned city planner disk is off. Create caravan construction kit. Oh, this mod's just got loads of stuff in it. Extended town meeting item. Tag all currently placed plots. Very interesting. Okay, well let's go track. I just want to track Silas now. See why he's not assigned to anything. Well, it's almost 9 o'clock. Almost time to talk this stuff through. Talk through the intro here.
Retain that dear perfection which he owes without
Everybody rocking out the Shakespeare show. Oh, here's what we want to do. We want to do.
I just want to trade a few things.
No, I just wanted to trigger
People are
this.
exhausted.
Yeah, you've
We
got.
need beds around here.
You need a lot of stuff there, buddy. Have a disease cure. Nope, can't use it. So it has a unknown disease. What do you got, buddy?
That thus be screened at night. So
Zap, zap. Oh yeah, mole rat disease. That's right, and chickenpox. Okay. How did he not get a home though? Are we short here? Yep, 17. Oh, I guess I should have known that from the report. It kept saying it over and over again. Okay, interesting. So anyway, so I'm gonna real quick. I'm gonna back out. I'm gonna disable this because I don't want it baked in my save right now. Because I want to continue with my plan of keeping as mod free as possible here, outside of stuff that I'm in control, 100% control of for this save. So we're trying to learn a lot and get bugs fixed. But that was an interesting little bit. You guys should go check out that mod. I linked it above. I'll link it one more time, and it will give you some pretty. Oop, that is not what I meant to send. Let's delete that. Wrong. Where'd it go? Here we go. Yeah, give you a lot of detailed information. And that's just me doing a little research for next patch, because we're going to add some reporting to the next patch, because it's long overdue. Long overdue to have some reporting in the base mod. We used to have it in SS1. We didn't have a ton. We had a few reports to help people get some basic information like plot counts and stuff, and I'd like some of that back. And then, you know, kind of expose some of the behind the hood numbers. I would love to do it on the HUD. It'd be really cool if you could like hover over something and get details like you can in most 4Xs. You know, you hover over a random number in the ridiculous HUD of like Stellaris, and you get a breakdown of where those numbers are fed from. We're not going to have anything like that because that's just not feasible in with the Fallout 4 HUD options we have, but I can still give you the data if you need it. Welcome to the stream, guys. It is now 9 o'clock, so we'll actually get into the proper playthrough. If you caught some of those early pre-9 o'clock minutes, that was just me checking out a mod that has a lot of reporting to do some research. I do have a report I'll show you guys. I showed a handful of folks at the beginning of the stream. I'll show it again, and I'll probably show it again later on. But I'm working on some reports for next patch because I want to get some useful information to folks. There's a couple of things I want to get in. Some of them are going to be reports in the terminal. Some of it's going to come in some new data added to the HUD, but basically make it so that people don't feel like they're playing blind, so that some of the pertinent information is available to folks is one of the goals of the next patch. And I'm going to show off some of that. So if you're new to watching my stream, just know that I do a couple of things. One is I am a rambler, so you'll sometimes just get me chasing thoughts. So if you don't like that, if you just want somebody who stays focused, I am not the person to watch for you. Tends to be you'll hear just my thought process on how things are going in the mod and talking about some of the background stories of like how things came to be or why they are the way they are. Or if I'm answering somebody's question, especially about the future of stuff, I tend to kind of go off on long rants about things. And I also have trouble with paying a lot of attention to the game and engaging with chat simultaneously, so I tend to do one or the other. So I'll be all in on the game for a while, and then during a load screen I'll catch a few chat questions. But to kind of make up for that is about halfway through the stream, usually about between 10:30 and 11, I kill the gameplay and just focus and hang out with you guys, answer your questions, show you guys stuff specifically you want to see. And that's kind of how we roll. And then the last thing to talk about every time is about pinging me and super chats. If you want me to have a chance in hell of seeing your question, please at King Gath, because I'm going to fall way behind in chat. So I'm going to look for those the pings in there. And then if you want your question answered immediately, any super chats sent my way, they don't go into my pocket. I put them in a pool to cover expenses on creating the mod or maintaining all of our servers and everything. So you're just helping out the cause if that's what you want to do, and that will get your question jumped right into my peripheral vision. It's very rare I don't notice one pretty quickly, but I will always make sure to acknowledge those, whereas I might not get to every single question otherwise. Okay, so today I promised some farming, and we will get to it, but real quick, I want to show you guys this new report that I made that's should be ready for next patch, which will be the Friday after this one. So in about, 9 days. And this is the first of two reports I have planned, and then I'm gonna, talk to you guys in the last half of the stream. That'll be a good time to talk about reporting information. So you guys, I'm gonna show you what I have so far, and you guys can kind of think about it as we're going. If you have any ideas for more, and we'll talk about them at the end of the stream. So this is the needs report, and I also have planned a plot report, and the plot report will show you a breakdown of like all the different plot classes and what levels they are. So imagine a report like that exists as well. Those are the two reports I have planned, and I'm looking for ideas for any additional. And I don't want to just jam reports in for the sake of jamming reports. They have to be useful. So if these two are the only two that are useful, that's all I'll put in. And the needs report is pretty robust. So, you know, you might be thinking when you see the first couple of screens, like, oh, you should do one like that for this. And I think, well, it's probably already in here. There's a lot of data in here. So the idea of the needs report was to take the little, let me back out, to take the meters on the left, which are just, you know, graphics. You have barely any numbers there, right? You get an occasional number appears for a city plan, or you get the population number, but otherwise this is all obfuscated. You don't know the numbers. So the goal of this needs report was to like expose all the numbers behind that system. That's what this first report does. So that way, any of you who are trying to figure out like why is something not working the way you hope it is, or you know, where are your shortfalls, or where are you close? You know, sometimes you're like, okay, you know, my meter's full, but like, do I have any excess so that I can send more people here? And this will kind of expose that. So it takes a second to load up, and it's going to break down each of the stats, and it does it one screen at a time, with the goal of just giving you the same information each time, so it's easy to digest. You get your top number, simple to read, showing you the total food that you would see in the HUD. And then right below that, it kind of breaks those numbers down into where they're going. So you've got your production, which is how much food this settlement is actually making, the need of how much the settlers are expecting to stay happy. The imported would be if you weren't producing as much as needed, you could be importing it from having caravan services. And then exported means you're exporting out through caravan services to help another settlement reach their needs. So for example, on another settlement, we might see the very top line that says food. They might say 50 food up there, but only be producing 40 because they might be borrowing 10 from one of the settlements. That's exporting, if that makes sense. Surplus would only occur if all settlements in the network had their needs met. Then any extra production wouldn't be exported. It would just kind of sit there in surplus is the idea. And surplus is what goes to HQ. So that's where these next three lines were inspired by, of like looking at it from perspective of, okay, if players want to quickly figure out what they have available for HQ, this is a way to do it. So you can see total network produced 453 food. The network needs 452 food. So technically we are right at the cusp, right where we need to be for food, but we have no buffer and we have basically nothing available for HQ right now. So that's why we're going to build some farms. We're going to try and get up this network surplus. There's also a chance that I don't have some of my settlements connected to the network. I gotta go check on the map screen and see if that's the case, in which case that these numbers might not balance out to the import exports, might not all zero out correctly. There might be somebody out there who's still short, even though this says we have a surplus. So that will depend on me just making sure I have caravan services in every settlement. And then we'll get the same information for water. Water being our big short guy there. You can see on our network we're short by over 100. So we need to get that fixed up as well. And that's going to be part of our little farming adventure today. We're going to, after we get the food with a nice buffer, we'll start working on water too. Same for power, which we have a huge surplus on because I basically forced everybody to be power plant workers to get the HQ quest done. So now we need to go fix all the other problems we created. Defense doesn't have the ability to share yet. It will in the future. So it's kind of future-proofed for that. And you can see we are a little bit short in this particular settlement. And then these are where the reports get into a little more behind the scenes data that you might not think about because you don't have these numbers anywhere currently. So the cleanliness rating, it's based on a system out of 0 to 100. The actual formula for cleanliness goes something like this. You start out with a score of 100 cleanliness. And then each settler that moves in reduces the cleanliness rating because they add pollution. So the more settlers you have, the more pollution you have, and your cleanliness rating will start falling. And then to fix your cleanliness rating, that's where sanitation plots come in. You can also, there's a little like unspoken benefit that most people probably don't know about, is that level 3 homes add a small boost to cleanliness as well. So you can see from plots, we're suffering from 37 points of pollution. Settlers are contributing the majority at 90, and then diseases themselves. So basically, like as you get more diseases, the place is less clean. You know, you can use your imagination for why that is, and those are all tallied together to create the pollution score. Now, the cleanliness rating will never fall into negative because it doesn't matter. It's basically it's 0 to 100, and that cleanliness rating is the inverse of the outbreak chance. So we have a 0% cleanliness rating, which means we have a 100% outbreak chance. So next time an outbreak is rolled, if it hits this settlement, it's guaranteed to happen. So this settlement is at high risk of a new outbreak because we have not built any sanitation. Next up is our happiness report. This one I think could be useful for a lot of folks who are struggling with happiness, although less so in SS2 than in SS1. We used to have this report there. It was laid out a little bit differently in SS1. And just like SS1, I think it's going to take a while before I get these numbers right because it's so complicated. When you look at the formula Bethesda created for their happiness, It's super convoluted. It makes sense. Like, it was a good job of what would you say, simulating. And then the unofficial patch team rewrote the code to make it more efficient, but makes it way harder to like follow mentally. So I had to try and like, pull all that apart and break it into this simple thing. And under the hood, happiness is based on a rating system, not on straight numbers. And so I try to convert the ratings into how they're impacting things. So like, the food shortage is probably impacting like a rating of like 700 or something, but like when you translate it into actual happiness points, it's -4. So that is what this report's trying to do, is explain under the hood what's going on with happiness. But again, trying to do it in a way you can kind of understand it. You don't have to understand all these rating systems or these complex formula. You can see, what's causing my problem. Food is causing my problem, or water's causing my problem, or whatever. Or the robots, or recent events is like if you have a death, or you forgot, you didn't go and help a settlement under attack. Like, those are recent events, and those can cause penalties as well. Inky Brushes, thank you for the donation. I've been enjoying the mods so much that I just finished my second back-to-back playthrough of the SS2 storyline. I really appreciate the versatile options and scaling difficulty. I was able to ramp up the difficulty as I went. Glad to catch you live. That's fantastic. Thank you so much for the donation. You just paid for a AAA title. So I hope we got you that many hours. That's amazing. Yeah, I'm excited about the difficulty versatility as well. In fact, we're gonna start after I finish this playthrough, which we're coming pretty close on it. I'm gonna start tinkering with playthroughs that I play with different difficulty options, so people can see their options. Like, depending on which of my Let's Play playlists they watch, they'll see the way different options feel. All right, last report: population. And this one is breaking down things about population, and that's the extra meters. I talked about that a lot of this. The starting point where I went for this needs report was, let's look at those meters on the left and how we can fill in the numbers. And you can see the employed, housed, hobbyists and their corresponding lacking lines for unemployed, homeless, hobbyists. Those are the meters about which plots you have and how many are assigned to them. So our max population support is only 17. We got 18 because of Silas Canary. That's why he doesn't have a home. The way our unique settlers work is they just ignore the limits and let you send them anywhere, because we didn't want a situation where people end up with, they finish a quest, they get access to this new settler, and then they aren't allowed to send them anywhere. Like, it would be a pain in the butt for us to keep track of that character and then have the quest keep running. So it was easier for us, and it just makes it easier for the player to not have to waste their time running back to a settlement, getting a bed made, then coming back and finding that person again. It's something I'm actually considering doing for HQ as well, of just making it like, okay, if you don't have enough beds, then you can still send. I might change this as a quality of life feature. You can send them anyway, but then maybe they can't work until you give them a bed or something. So that way, at least you don't have to keep chasing people back and forth, because it's a pet peeve of mine. I have to chase people all over the map. Okay, so that's our needs report. So, and like I said, you can imagine we'll have a plot numbers breakdown report as well. So at the end of the stream, when we get into chat time, I want to talk about other ideas you guys might have for information that you're looking for. It doesn't have to be a specific report. Like, I can figure out where to stick it, but just like data points you guys are lacking. That's kind of what I want to talk about tonight. But for now, let's get into some farming adventures here. So I want to continue to jump from settlement to settlement, find out which of these plots are inactive, which ones are active, etc., and try and get our food situation fixed. Okay, so I think we already went through Starlight and figured out where we're at with everything. I am going to build, I'm going to build Silas a home so that he is happy once again. I thought we had enough space in some of these multi-person, but that does not appear to be the case. Everything seems to be all full up. All right, let's get ourselves a residential plot. I think I collected enough ACM sensors with the intention of building a city plan somewhere, and I don't remember where that was. Or maybe we did do it, and I just am forgetting. Maybe I built another thing. I don't remember. All right, can we snap this to you guys? No, why is it trying to build it inside of that? That's no good. Maybe surface snap off? Nope. Let's not build these homes inside of each other. Maybe if we do this one. It just really wants to be a part of that one. I guess we got to get him some floors first. Structures, wood. Sure, you can have some plywood. And now you don't want to snap? What is going on here? Okay. Alright, well then forget you. We're just going to turn off snap instead. Object snap off, surface snap on. And we'll just do it this way. Oh, I guess I can move that fountain. I'll say I shouldn't be building right on top of the water thing, but we will just quickly grab that and get it out of the way. So we can't afford to sacrifice any water right now because my water is toast. Alright, so presumably this should get auto-assigned to Silas because I think he was the one person that was without a house. Good old Shakespeare. Alright, let's see. Did that get assigned yet? Or do I need to do this manually? Is Silas in the same row before? Alright, let's try assigning him and see what happens. Oh, I love Workshop Plus. Oh, no, he did get assigned. Okay, or somebody did. Alright, now let's make that a multi-person so we don't have to do this again. Can't afford construction costs. How can we not afford construction costs? Get out of here with that. Jason Locrantz, thank you for the donation. Wednesdays are my favorite day of the week because of these. Thanks for the stream. Awesome. I'm glad that I can be entertaining enough for that. Here we go. Yes, pay and build. Okay, there we go. So that'll solve the housing crisis here in Starlight. Let's move on to our next settlement. All right, let's see our well, first check our network. Is everything? Yeah, everything's connected, so we're good there. So that means we can trust our surplus reports. So what I kind of want to do is take advantage of this needs report now and kind of go to some of these settlements and see like what our chances, like where our max population is and what our chance of actual recruitment is. Because I feel like a lot of these settlements have had the same number for quite a while. Like Abernathy, though, that's growing pretty quick. A lot of folks standing around.
If we had a good supply of clean water, things would be pretty good.
Thanks for the insight, buddy. All right, let's see where our meters are. Who's this dog? Just a junkyard dog? Okay. Are these numbers correct? Those seem awful. Power's in the can. Defense is in the can. Water we knew was in the can. Yeah, none of those. That does not seem good. It seems like folks of Abernathy are in big trouble here. A lot of folks missing jobs, which is interesting. So let's go check over here. Okay, why aren't these? Let's pop out and pop back in. I want to get the icons to reappear. There we go. Okay, we got 3 people at that one, 3 people at that one. Okay, we got a lot of people here. This power plant is unassigned still, so somebody could go work there. Guys, we need more power. HQ demands it of us. We got a defense plot. One of you guys could be working. Oh, work is full. It's houses that are short. Got it. So we've got, but it says we've 17 beds. Something funky going on here. Although I think somebody has reported to me multiple times now that we've got a little glitch in the HUD. Apparently, if you have more beds than people, then it counts as like negative percentage on the little HUD on the left there. But let's go to we're talking about messing with this new report.
Huh?
Let's go take a peek at it and see what it says. Can you move, please? Move. I really kind of want the. I feel like I'm gonna end up installing a few utility mods for the next playthrough. Try to keep it minimal, but I really just want to push people out of the way thing really badly. What is this one? Was I gonna build a power plant up here? No, I didn't assign anything to it. Okay. Where is our... Did I not build a city planner's desk here? Maybe I never did. Or I just don't remember where I put it. Well, we'll just build another one. And I guess I should have the... Let's see. I'll show you guys tools of what you have available to fix this stuff. City manager tool. We'll do ASAM tracking. Management desks. Sorry, management desk. Here it is. Yep, there it is, tucked underneath there. Good thing I used that. I would not have thought to look under there. Okay, let's turn clear all. There we go. Okay, so let's look at our new report. And once again, you guys will have access to this in the next patch. This is it's a beta build that I'm running right now. Okay, so we are going to go to we want to go to the population screen. Here we go. Okay. So we've got 15 employed, only 12 are housed, and 3 are homeless. That's very odd, considering we have 17 beds. So I guess we'll try and trigger an auto assignment here. So let's go back to our ASAM tools. Town meeting gavel. And I guess we'll gather homeless.
Yes.
See if that works.
Huh?
Called 3 settlers. Okay.
Huh?
Here, do you need a disease cure? Will this work on any of you guys? You guys probably all got mole rat disease that seems to be going around. Oh no, that guy was good. All right, both of you. Okay. All right, let's get some of you guys in some houses over here, or some beds or something. This is a commercial plot. All right, so there's something, the bed count clearly is incorrect. So we must have some duplicate beds in some of these building plans. So I could run around and refresh on my residential, which maybe I'll do, but I think for now we'll just build some residential plots and then we'll do that after the fact. So let's get them some more spots to sleep. Actually, we'll build 1 multi-person because that'll take care of 2. And then one more for the last man out. I wonder if it's the beds in here not getting assigned. I'll check. Yeah, these are not getting assigned. Well, not all of them anyway. So let's just pick those up. Store you. Store you. Oh, these are vanilla. Well, we're gonna insert and grab them. Wait, why is my thing not working? Come on. There we go. A little extra object selection. Hopefully we don't scrap any humans. Yeah, we'll get rid of all those. Now I probably made... What is that? We probably just made our bed situation way worse, so we went down to 11. And you two. Okay, we're going to just make our bed situation abysmal. And then we'll get back to this with some plots. Alright. Choose building plan. Oh, we do not want a boathouse. We want a multi-person. There we go. So I wonder if I can fit. Can you fit an interior residential back here in the where I destroyed all those beds? Excuse me. Excuse me, sir. Pay and build. Come on, you can do it. You can get out of the way. Don't make me console command disable you. Yeah, I think we can fit. We can fit some stuff down here. Let's pick this up. This duffel bag might be junk storage, so I'm not gonna scrap it. Let's see. Get this out of the way. All right. Let's see if we turn off surface snap. Oh yeah. Gonna be nice and crowded back here, but it'll work. Try and line this up with walls and floor. And then we can start snapping some of these to each other. Alright, now I gotta remember my keys. Here we go. Alright, now let's turn object. No, I want object on. Come on, snap for me. There we go. There we go. I don't know how they're gonna walk. We're gonna have to be very, I don't know if they're gonna be able to walk through there, but that is a problem for the settlers to figure out. Okay, there's 2 more. Where can we stick another one? Can we pick one? Can one fit back here too? This seems real tight, but we're gonna try it. This is reaching right here, but we're gonna try it anyway. Gonna get some. Maybe we get some overlap. We just won't come back here. We can just play ignorant, pretend everything is okay back here, and we'll at least clean up some of this stuff for you guys. Okay, guys, make it work. But just an FYI, vanilla beds are supposed to count. I'm not sure what's going on with them, why they're not counting. I mean, obviously we've got, our meters are going all crazy. They keep changing on us. So That's another thing I started looking at on is HUD efficiency. I think after all of the mechanics we've added over the years, I think the HUD is just struggling to keep up. So it might be that we've got to do some optimizations there. I did a small optimization, but not enough to make up for the speed. But we need that HUD to be able to be a little snappier. It's a little too slow for my taste. It's always going to be a little slower than a real HUD, because this is all faked. All of our HUD stuff is very faked, because we have to go through HUD framework, which is handicapped. So hopefully one day in a future Bethesda game engine we will get proper injectable HUD support. But for now, we've got what Fallout 4 gives us. All right, these guys could use, with all these extra job slots, I think these guys could benefit from a power transfer to take advantage of some of the huge amount of power we have on the network. So I think maybe I'll change this guy to power transfer. Because I don't think we have, oh no, we have power transfer, don't we? Isn't that what that big blue glowing thing is over here? Or is that my imagination? Or maybe we had it at the different side. Oh, we had that at Sunshine.
We need more water. Even another
yeah,
water
everybody needs water. I know. Okay, we definitely need a power transfer. What are you? That's sanitation. Okay, yeah, let's go turn that one into power transfer. Although, yeah, because even if they don't have enough power to go out, we can still bring some power in, which would be nice. Okay, we want... Uh-oh, why is... Oh, okay, yeah. I was like, wait, why is this here? Why is the funeral pyre here? I was thinking that it was showing one of the Chapter 3 plans, and I might have accidentally left the... what do you call it? The alpha version enabled, in which case I would have had to roll back the save. Power transfer. There we go. Waiting for the cost to come up. I mean, we just gave SS2 a lot to do, so I gotta be patient here. How are these plots going over here?
Huh?
You guys can walk over this chair, think real thin, and get through here. Hey, you teleported in. Perfect. You guys figured it out. All right. How about this one over here? This poor guy. He says nope. No, you got easy access. Yours is the easiest access of all of them. Because what a terrible design you went with. Okay, let's see. How about this multi-person? Yep, it's all built. Hey, cool. Somebody's sleeping up on the bunk. Love to see that. All right, so did that solve our home problems now? Now we got 15. We've got a full home meter. We got a full job meter. Very cool. Okay, so they still don't have enough people to fill all of this unless I start moving people off of their existing jobs, which I don't want to do. We will wire this up so that when we eventually get some power, we're going to need... Oh, I should not build it right through that. Let's make sure we got a... 99% certain we have a municipal already. Municipal power pole, but just want to go double check and make sure that this is connected up in the entire grid. Okay, we got wires. We're just super short on power here, and that's okay. Solve itself eventually. Connected to there. Go over here, and I think, where did we put our municipal? Not that one. Everybody's hungry for power. I feel like I've had in the past like 3 municipal power switches here because I keep forgetting where I stick them. I need to just always stick it in the same spot at every settlement so I don't have to hunt for it. Like, make it my personal decision to always put it next to the... Come on, go up there. Put it next to the workbench or something. That'd probably be a lot smarter. Well, fortunately, we've done so many things with the code over the patches to make it so that you can have, you know, whatever one you build last is kind of the master one. So even if I end up building another one, it'll take over and become the main municipal. So I can start that plan if I want of just starting to have one next to each. But we don't have our power transfer yet, so it doesn't matter. But we solved beds here. This place looks like it's going to be churning out a fair amount of food. Okay, so I think the last thing I'll check before we leave here is on our little report, what are recruitment chances? Do we have it, or do we need to build some extra beds in preparation. Let's come back in here. Alright, so our recruitment chance is 0 because we're at max population. So max population, what is that tied to right now? It can't be my charisma, because I think my charisma is, let's see. Yeah, my charisma is at 9, so that would give us 19, right? Or is that the 20 minimum? So we must have it set up right now that our... Wait, are we limited by city plan here? Let's check that. Gonna spend a lot of time in the terminal today, apparently. Also, I kind of want to rob this workbench now. Oh, look at that. ASAM sensors. Yes, please. What is this? A new bugle ended up in here. Okay, we need some screws apparently for something I was trying to build. Yeah, we'll take fusion cells. Okay, that's all we're gonna grab. I didn't know. I don't remember building a new bugle. No, I want to read it. Read. There we go. The button that says read. Who is the mysterious stranger? Oh, it's talking about the mysterious stranger, like from the perk. Okay, I was half expecting it to be like an article about Jake or something. I haven't read all the articles in a long time. Okay. Oh, this is. Oh, that's their plot poking through. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's check our local settings here. Gameplay. Nope, wrong button. Local settings. There we go. And recruitment by city plan is off. Okay. I think we don't even have a city plan here anyway. Let's check. Current level is 0. Yeah, we don't have a city plan right now, because otherwise we would have a view details. So let's try building another bed and see if that ups our max population count. So I think it should. I don't actually know why my population is limited as it is right now, because it should be by, since we're not using a city plan. Did I build a communications plot here and I forgot? Because if basically the way it's supposed to be set up. And if it's not working that way, then I have a nice bug to put in my save list. Oh, it looks like we started to do power transfer over here. So I was past me was thinking the same thing. But the way it's supposed to work is if you have a communications plot, which is a municipal type, then your recruitment becomes capped by the number of beds or residential you have. If you have a city plan, it gets capped by the city plan count. And then if you have neither of those, then it just gets capped by your charisma, like the default rules. So let's build another surface snap on, build another plot here. Go ahead and wire this guy up. And let's see if that impacts our max at all. My guess is it's not going to. Whether or not it does, actually, this to me is a bug worth researching, because these numbers don't make sense to me right now. Reports, needs report. Max population 15 still. Okay, so I'm gonna save this as research max population, because I want to figure out what is controlling it here. And like maybe this is a report worthy thing of like putting in the data points so that you can figure that kind of stuff out. Let's see, save max population seems off. All right, we'll come back and research that another time. Let's move on to the next settlement. 10 Pines, here we come. I wonder if it's also something like if the settlement previously had a city plan and you remove the city plan, the code is never running to update the max NPCs. Could be something like that. So maybe that 15 is from the original city plan that I had on there, and it just isn't updated now. Could be something like that. All right, let's check out what our meters look like. $13 out of 13. Food a little shy. Homes are shy. Is this another case of vanilla beds making things funky? I'm guessing it is. Yeah, we got a couple vanilla beds in here. Oh, they're unassigned. Which, again, not supposed to be that way. So, you know, if you thought that SS2 just doesn't like beds, because that's how SS1 was. SS1 didn't like vanilla beds. That is not meant to be the case. I'm just scrapping them because I want to see what's going on, and I actually like the I like the plots better than the vanilla beds laying on the ground. Okay. What is this? That's Jesus Christ floating away. What is he doing?
Let's do this.
Oh, there he goes.
Guess my good
Okay, so I'm gonna save this as vanilla bed. So this is why this is one of the best things about this playthrough with this minimal load order is I can solve so many bugs from this information from having these saves. So save vanilla beds, unassigned. And we'll just leave it like that. Because why are those vanilla beds unassigned? That seems wrong. This should not be the case when this place is claiming to be short on beds. Somebody needs a bed. Oh, this guy laying in the hospital. Wait, is this the infectologist in his own? That's the second time we've seen that. Like the doctor got sick. With oh yeah, he's got triple disease. His vigor rating 0. When the doctor gets incapacitated, what do you do then?
Hi, how are you?
Okay. Alright, so we've got the home issue, but it's just a matter of people not assigning. It says we have 13 out of 13, just 2 of them aren't assigned for whatever reason. It could also be something like, I don't know what's going on, because the meter's not full down there. Yeah, something worth researching. But we're not doing a bug fix stream, is kind of my point here of why I'm just making these saves and talking it through. Because we're not, it's going to be rare we do those streams, I think. It was interesting, but not something I want to subject you guys to on the regular. 100% happiness. I guess our recruitment chance is going to be 0 because we're at max population. So this settlement is about as good as it can be. It's got power transfer already. It's got caravan, lots of level 3 stuff. Like it even has a hospital that unfortunately got taken out of command. I guess what would make the most sense would be the smartest thing would be to assign somebody else as the doctor, right? So we can start getting some of these diseases cured up. Because right now that hospital's useless to us. What do we got? What do we got? Anybody? Anybody ready to be promoted? Our food we're trying to fix. The farming stream 2.0. We can't sacrifice there. You know what? Water's already screwed, so I guess we can pull somebody off water. Quick, settler, we need you to become an emergency doctor. Very important you cure this guy. Let's see what happens here. Okay, cool. That guy's still staying laid down, so that worked as it's supposed to. But now if this works, this incapacitation symbol should go away. Unless this person's diseased too and they just didn't get the memo yet. No, you're just still slowly being reassigned. The assignment code in this game is abysmal. Yeah, there it goes. It's cleared up. So now we should have a doctor. So now hopefully some disease curing should start happening. Still working that water plot. She really enjoys that spot. Let's give you.
Need to get back to Diamond
I already have my
City,
scanner
Got
equipped.
it.
What do you got here? Let's see. Infectologist, cool. Hobby none, that's fine. Vigor rating 100%. That's what, oh wait, was that a, did she have a 4 endurance? Awesome. Then you'll be able to survive the first couple of diseases you're gonna pick up living here. Okay. Oh, and is this place leveling up now? That would be helpful.
You gotta take things.
Because the higher level the hospital, the more people it can cure per day. So that will be nice to have a level 2 here. Settlement being attacked causes settler and build menu to do weird things. Interesting. We discovered some real weird stuff that happens in build mode. Speaking of CBR Gamer, who we were showing off his mod earlier.
Hope you ain't one of them.
He discovered this weird bug where when you go into workshop mode and you select somebody, like I click this person and hit command, they are technically in this moment the owner of everything in the settlement. It's like I think some engine hack they did to allow this assignment thing to work. So they get temporarily flagged as the owner of everything, and it really messes up the numbers under the hood while you're in workshop mode, while you have somebody in command. And apparently it happens with companions too. And I came up with a fix for the settlers, but not for one for the companions yet. Alright, I'm not a fan of the fact that now our jobs went down, but I mean, I've given up on the number. I'm kind of like going to have to just research that save to figure out like why the vanilla beds aren't assigning, and I'm sure that's all related to why our meters are all funky. So we'll settle for it being a win that we got a level 2 hospital out of that. And we'll go to the next settlement, see what we can do to help out. Outpost ammonia. What's going on over here? Who's this?
Greetings,
Oh.
Master. I have a new stash for you to look at. Go on. You can stare. I'm not programmed to blush.
We need to get him a custom skin for as to extend it at least. Where is our? I gotta say, it's very nice to come to all these settlements and see the animation markers all working. It's so refreshing and rare to come into a settlement and not have everybody just clustered in a pile on top of the building. Why are you the mayor still? You should be working something else. I think we disabled the city. We don't need a mayor anymore here. I'm pretty sure this is not a city plan anymore. Let's check. Yeah, you don't need to do this anymore. You are gonna get a job. Let's find out what we've got for open plots here. Is this place not being? No, just the barometer unassigned. Okay, and that place is assigned. I think everything's assigned here, so we might as well just get a new plot here. That's nice. Kind of hard to stick another farm here, but we'll make it work. We've stuck less and more. I think I said that backwards, but you guys get my point. Well, what's going on here? This can't be right. Oh, I see. I really crammed stuff in here. Okay. Well, power is a disaster here, so we kind of need a power transfer plot here. But that's not what I was hoping to build. But we'll do it, because it might actually open up some more better production if we do that. So it might solve some other problems indirectly. So let's do that. I think, let's see here. Where can we stick it? Kind of nowhere. This is not a very flexible settlement for plots. I guess we can have it hanging out up in the sky here. This will look terrible, but nobody look back here. Okay, let's at least give them a stairway so we can pretend it's not awful. All right, you are gonna come work here. Hopefully we get lucky with the die roll and it just gives us power transfer while I'm putzing around with this. Alright, what did we get? What did we get? Nope, definitely not that. Alright. Choose building plan. Power transfer. There we go. Oh, there it is. All right. All right, we got the trees have got to go. You're in the way. Actually, we got some room we can put some more. I can definitely stick another defense plot if I need to. And I'm not afraid of just building right into the bushes. I just accept that that is part of the jank that is living in the wasteland. You just build around the bushes that you could easily take out with a machete. I like the trees, like something for a little decoration, but we don't have room. Still looks nice, even without it. I love these plot designs. The team did good. They made good looking buildings. Okay, so the things I've been trying to fix each time we show up, building the jobs and home meters being full. That's for the first time I think tonight. That's correct. So I guess the next thing would be, let's go check our needs report and see about the chance of recruitment. That's really what I was hoping to find today with this report of like, hey, is there anywhere where we've got a chance of getting some new folks soon? We'll skip ahead. Oh wow, my defense is like half what we need. Let's see. Happiness trending toward 80, that's good. Recruitment chance, 45%. Okay, so we do have a chance here. Max population here is actually 14. Let's see, let's make sure my leader got... Okay, good. Leader got assigned. Whoops. Don't mind the sprinklers, Mr. Surveyor. Well, this isn't your house anyway. You're just visiting. Oh man, whoever lives here drew this short stick. Oh, and this guy in the sleeping bag. I think I did that. I think I crammed those in there. It's like, we got no more room for residential plots. Okay, so this should suddenly, in theory, as long as I build a municipal power switch, should fix our power problems. So I don't think we have one. So all right, let's follow my previous advice to myself of let's just put the municipal right next to the bench so I can always find it. Because we may already have one, but I just keep losing track of them. Power. Build a nice little switch box right next to it. And then we need to get this into the grid somewhere. Alright, so let's back to here. Nope, not store. I want to add a wire. Oh, of course, can't do that. Oh, are you kidding me? We're out of stuff. All right, I guess we'll do. Where can we put this? Here? Can that reach? There we go. And then, ta-da! Minor tripping hazard. Not a fan of that. All right, what can we do here? This is mildly better to put it up there. Oh, I guess now I can take advantage of the fact that we've got place everywhere. Come on, give me the conduit. There we go. Now we can just put it where we want it, where we actually wanted it in the first place. Oh, I guess this is hand built. I was thinking that this is plot built, but no, I built that. So. There we go, and we're getting 22 power from the grid. So in theory, everything should get powered up as long as I wire it all. Which it looks like it is. Everything looks like it's all wired up nice, but we'll go ahead and run a few more wires just in case. Yep, that's everything. The power icons are all fixed. I did not expect Outpost Ammonia to be our our best performer as far as like everything working how I expected to here. Oh, and then that power just gave us a nice upgrade on our Marshal. Very nice. I'm also a little bit thankful for that bug we had with the organic materials where we ended up with just crazy amounts because I was able to pull everybody off of that and put them on building and machine parts to build up some supply there. So a little bit of an accidental cheat. So I guess this guy just needs us to get to 80 happiness, which we're trending toward. Little Outpost Simonia going to be our best performing settlement. Fantastic. Okay, well, as soon as that's done building, oh, very nice. Which building plan is this? That's starting to look legitimate. The previous model, I think the level 1 of this just looks horrible. Yeah, Checkpoint Alpha, like level 1 just looks like, why would anyone build that? It's like pieces of broken cement, and then it gets real nice. This was originally, so we did a lot of redesign late in SS2's development cycle. So originally, when we were working on SS2, one of our focuses was going to be unique building plans for all of our settlers. And that kind of fell apart because it was so much work, and then it turned out it worked out. I'm glad we didn't because of space. We would have ran into a problem with space on Xbox, so it worked out in our favor that we didn't end up finishing that. But we also then ended up repurposing a lot of the buildings for the different tiers. So that was a solution I came up with real late in development of the advanced and high tech, of a solution for the fact that you know, you got to we were like capped in how much and how high we could go, and I didn't want to get into like level 4, level 5, level 6 plots. Wanted something different. And then so when we came up with that solution, then we needed to come up with building plans all of a sudden. So we rated some from Industrial Revolution, and then some we took from the characters, and this was one of them. This was going to be a custom building plan for Rob Lambert. Oh, what is he? What are you doing? Oh, did the raiders respawn down here again? I feel like I've killed them like 8 times. Let's see. Yep. I will take some free loot.
What the?
Oh, terrible shot. Come on. Okay, so far, still no farming. I'm aware. You guys don't have to call me out. I know I'm failing at farming still. We're solving problems though, so I feel like we're in the spirit of what I want to be doing, which is like going back and correcting all of the dumb design decisions we made by powering through the quest stuff and not taking our time in the settlements. Oh, another upgraded security. What else are upgraded here? Are they suddenly going to have enough defense? And they really are going to be our one perfect settlement? Oh, was it this one that upgraded? No, I think level 3 is taller than that. That can't be it. Oh yeah, defense 214. That's what I'm talking about. Maybe this thing upgraded? I don't actually know what this one looks like at different levels. 100, yeah, level 3, 129 defense. Very nice. Okay, so I think this place is suddenly they're just ready to roll. They're just short a little bit of food and water, which if we ever get to our farming mission, will get solved. Oh yeah, looks like this house is ready to pop. They need all the things. They're hungry, they're thirsty. They want more defense. Okay, on to the next settlement. This was a win. I feel like this is the first win of the day. Outpost Simonia, the little settlement that could. All right, let's go check out Taffington. Their happiness is doing great. James Gilmer, I've heard playing an alerted timescale messes up the game. Does using the pause time feature in WSFW or the time slowing feature in place everywhere eventually trash your game? I mean, I'm sure if you used it for a long time, yeah, it would probably not a good idea. I've heard people who play in timescales less than 6 for a long time is real bad. I tend to only put my timescale down when I'm not actively playing. Like I'll do it when we get to the point of the stream where I'm just chatting. I'll stick it down to real low so that I don't have to deal with constantly messing with the weather or the lighting. Otherwise, I prefer to keep it at 20, which is the default. Uh-oh, look at all these people out at our hospital. Hopefully it's not our infectologist again. No, a guard, another guard. Okay, good. Our doctor is still working, trying to get these people back on their feet. I never even thought about that, of like how important that is to, it's like, a little bit of extra gameplay I hadn't considered. That, you know, putting a high endurance person as your doctor is a good idea. It's almost like endurance is like a second tier. It's like a most important stat for your doctors.
Yes?
We might go back and add a hospital benefit for high intelligence, because I think that's the most sensible one to tie it to. I know we did do that with sanitation. Like in the last patch or the patch before, we added a boost to sanitation for perception skill. So I could see doing the same for your doctors having high intelligence, because that just feels good. It would feel nice to get rewarded for min-maxing that. But endurance is a nice secondary stat, just because you don't want that plot to get incapacitated, because it'll slow down everything. All right, we're getting some upgrades, which means more people are going to be able to live here. That's great. All right, I've been waiting for all this script popping to stop before I pop into workshop mode, because I don't need to put another load onto the system. This place is looking great. Oh, what do we got here? Who can we borrow from these folks? So I have on my list, some of you guys who love purified water will appreciate. So there's a vanilla, I've talked about this a few times, but there's a vanilla mechanic that is broken in the base game that I fixed with Workshop Framework. It was probably, I don't know if you unofficial Fallout 4 patch had fixed it or not, but I fixed it with Workshop Framework. There's a stat built into the game, which is like max surplus water and max surplus food, and there's a formula for it. It's something like equal to settlers for water and like 10 plus number of settlers for food, something like that. And that's why you'll see when you're playing with Workshop Framework that you never get past a certain amount of this stuff. But I'm thinking I should add a flag to turn that back off, so that way people who just like want to get unlimited stuff can. I put that on my list to do, because I don't want to be for especially stuff that's outside of, like with Sim Settlements 2, obviously we're creating a system of rules. Makes sense. Workshop Framework, though, the goal was not to like impose any particular gameplay stuff on it. It was just supposed to be a framework, so I think that makes sense to add that back in. So purified water lovers rejoice. I will add that. I promise I'll add that setting back in. I don't know when I'll get to it. It is on my short list, though, of like stuff I want to do in the next couple of patches. Let's see here. Okay, I think we're ready to pop in. Look at all those beautiful meters. 13 out of 17 people. Another town doing good. All things full. So now we need to check out. So let's see. Everybody's assigned to stuff. Is there anything we can sacrifice here to get another farm going, so that I'm not a liar today? I wasn't a liar last week, but it was because I went into overtime to make up for it, and we played like an extra 30 minutes to make sure I got some farms built. Let's see where. Oh, they just left poor Mary Sutton here in their living room, bloodstain and all. That makes me uncomfortable. What's wrong with you guys? Okay. Let's check our recruitment chance here. Oops. If I click on the right thing, that would help. Reports. There we go. Needs report. This needs report generates a lot faster than I expected. Like with how much data it has to churn through to do all this. I think that was one of the things I liked about this pagination method I came up with, was like, I do this is total nerd speak, but I spun up another thread to calculate all the data. So it calculates really quickly the food, since that's the first screen, and then another thread goes ahead and calculates the rest, so that way it can kind of do it asynchronously and make sure that you can not have to wait for data to load. Oh man, my headphones just went out for a second there. Cleanliness rating terrible. Happiness great. Okay, 55% chance. That is pretty darn good. Okay, so let's, I guess, we'll get a farm prepped. I didn't see any unoccupied plots. I mean, I'm guessing this organics one is. Let's see here. Is this unoccupied? Owner's incapacitated. So we're not going to need. Oh, but it's the storage. I got to make sure I got enough storage. I say we are not going to need organic for a very long time. So as long as I build up another replacement storage thing here, which I'm happy to do if I have the steel. It's another common issue, is I'm always out of steel. I'm happy to just swap this out for an advanced farm. So let's get some more resource containers. Oh good, we got a little bit of steel left over. We'll build ourselves a little wall on the highway over here. I'll sink this in the ground a bit. Whoop, whoop. crashing into the building. Okay, well, I don't want to. And do a yellow one, sure. Oh, come on. Alright, I gotta do one of these nonsense moves here. So I have a, I was playing some of the Chapter 3 stuff the other day, and I suddenly, these containers made me think of one of my favorite gameplay things of all time. And I don't remember the name of them. Some of you guys will know the name as soon as I start describing it, but Phantom Pain, the little weather balloon things you could attach to crates and have them take the supplies back to your to Mother Base. I kind of want to make that. I want to put that in Fallout 4. Such a cool gameplay feature, especially when you figure out you could start, like, you could, if you were on top of it, on top of the crate, you could take it and ride back. It was such a fun mechanic. So ridiculous and so Kojima, but man, was that fun. I wouldn't make any sense in Fallout 4, but that's why we have HQ. We can add crazy science tech trees to make it make sense. So now I kind of want to build a gate here. Just because. It'll just look nice. If I can remember where junk gates are. Is it under walls? No, it's under fences. That's right. Fences, junk fence. Here we go. Yeah, one of these guys. And we'll stick it outside the bounds. And we will just pretend those wood things are not clipping into the containers. There you go. I like that. Okay. So now we built an extra one of those. So that is, or we built two of those. That's 2,000, and we needed to just make 1,800. So now we're safe to swap this guy. Hopefully, when he wakes up from his incapacitation, he will start farming for us. So customize plot, change plot type, agricultural. Let that do its thing. You still have no hobbies and training for HQ. Yeah, that's another problem. I have a lot of problems to fix. I do need to start getting my settlers trained up so they can be HQ workers at some point. But right now we're working on food, and then we're gonna work on water. One thing at a time. I operate better when I focus fire. That's why I went hardcore on power. Now we're trying to make amends. But this time, unlike what I did with when I did the power thing, I like sacrificed everything else at the just to get power. Now I'm trying to only actually sacrifice things I don't need and not just throw everything under the bus. One of the things I really like about the way that my settlements turn out is they feel like that's what would really happen. If like people just need something, and so they're gonna scrounge and figure out where to put it, and you get these really like ugly, scrappy looking but organic settlement layouts of just like, well, we really needed that thing, and this was the only spot we could put it. And that is why I continue to build like this, completely non-planning. I just want it to feel
easy living.
sure, have a disease cure. We'll see if any of you guys can make use of them. I really enjoy the way the settlements turn out at the end, even though they are total chaos.
We'll teach them again when we come back.
Alright, did that thing finish swapping over? I'm sure it's not going to build because the guy's incapacitated, but that's okay. We can still get our building plan ready. Advanced farm, sure. Fault and recovery. Thank you, Canuck. Yeah. Oh, wait, this is another one of those. The confirmation message is not set up correctly. Pay and build. All right, nice. Oh, I see. I did it correctly here. I put the grid box right next to the workbench, so I'll actually remember it's there. All right, what's our beds? That's the other thing I should solve here. Okay, we got excess beds. So we're definitely ready for more people to show up. Okay, so I think this place is in as good a shape as we're going to get it for now. Obviously, water's still problematic, and we need that guy to get healed up so he can join our farmers union. But I did build a farm. Let the record show. that we made it through. It only took half of the stream to get to our first farm on the farming stream. Okay, next up, County Crossing. Here we come. Okay, now this is one of the ones we're actually using a multi-tiered city plan,
Hey,
so...
I just wanted to introduce myself.
Well,
I wanted
recruitment
to
chance must
personally
have been
thank
a
you
good number
for
here.
Giving us this opportunity. Any place you want me to pitch in?
How do you feel about farming?
Not right now. Thanks.
Okay.
Because I think this place actually has a fair amount of farms. I can just swap them over to advanced. Although then when the
Got a
city plan
dangerous look
upgrades, it's probably
about
going to swap them back.
You ain't here for me.
So we might have to try and squeeze an extra one in here.
If you work, you eat. It's as simple as
I feel like
that.
we got to be getting close to triggering high-tech farming. I've been building so many of those advanced things everywhere. Same with power, too. Actually, power is probably the first one we'll hit. High-tech power is going to be... Because I built all of those coal plants everywhere when we were doing the HQ stuff. Okay, let's see where we're at with percent toward the city plan leveling up. Because I prefer to not mess around too much with the city plans until we're up higher level in it. Okay, so we're just short on population here. We actually, 13 out of 14. That 62% doesn't seem right. That seems like a math fail somewhere. Let's see here. Well, let's look at our reports. This needs report's kind of nice. I don't know why it has taken me this long to get it. All right. We know we're short on water. We're short on food. Oh, wait. Oh, I was going to say, wait, power says we're down, but that's because this one's not on the power network. It doesn't have power transfer, so it's, of course, not going to show anything on the network. Happiness is beautiful. So we have so much bonus that it's offsetting the penalty. That's great. Chance of population or recruitment, 60%. Max population, 14. Got one homeless. So I think that... Okay. Oh, I know what's going on. So this is something we talked about before. All of the ROTC city plans have an incorrect number, have incorrect numbers stored in them, and it makes it so they can't level up correctly. This is one of the issues I have on my to-do list to try and figure out how to fix. Is that all of the ROTC city plans have a problem with their levels, and fixing it is a pain in the butt. And that's why it has remained broken. So this place probably isn't going to level up. So let's assume that because but when I finally fix the bug, I'll be happy for it to mess up my work. But for now, let's assume it's not going to fix it anytime soon. Upgrade available, that's fine. We don't care. Advanced farm for you. And even though the explosions look kind of dumb with the big piles of dirt flying out. Not the, like, I like the puff of smoke. This right here, that looks kind of dumb. I love the explosion system in general. I really got to remember to get rid of all those, like, chunky pieces of dirt from the meshes. James Gilmore, I have heavy use of time alteration features in WSFW or place everywhere is problematic. Could WSFP feature be added to pause thirst hunger while in workshop for survival players? I don't know. That might be a feature better done by a mod that's specifically messing with survival. Like, I'm afraid to mess with survival much. I remember doing a bunch of work with it when we did the medical lab for Industrial Revolution, and it's a lot of hard-coded stuff. Like, there's not much that, like, the way they did survival in the patch that added it for a Fallout 4 was, it felt very rushed. Like, they could have done a lot of it more systemized, instead a lot of it's very hard-coded, which is a bummer. So, like, messing with it, it's kind of like you can have one mod that messes with survival mode. So my bet is there's already a mod that adds that, like, slows it down in workshop mode, or that feels like it might be even a feature in something like place everywhere already. I don't know. somebody else can answer that question. I don't play in survival mode much, so I don't know much about the pains of it or what options there are available. We can rob their workbench while we're standing here. Hey, somebody with bottle caps finally. I'm just going to assume I need these things I'm tracking still, even though I have no idea why I'm tracking them anymore. And of course, anytime you see military grade, you just take it, right? And I like taking pre-warm. There's so much stuff to take here. You guys are holding out. Will I ever actually use that stuff? Unlikely. But the hoarder in me is very satisfied now. Okay, we built 2 more farms. Look at that, guys. We're up to 3 farms today. Technically, those each count like half because I just upgraded, but... Alright, let's see where we're at here now. Okay, so their meters are all kind of borked right now. I'm curious. I want to try something. We're going to do save county crossing meters problem. We're going to load this save. I want to see what happens. Because this will trigger a bunch of code that only runs when you load the game. I want to see if that fixes those meters. This is not something I'm suggesting you guys shall have to do, but it'll kind of tell me what's going on and give me a potential fix for it. Because I really, the speed of this HUD I'm seeing today is infuriating to the point where it might become my next target of attack after I'm done with the reports. Like, let's redo the HUD, the code at least. Like the HUD, I like the way the HUD looks, but let's redo the code maybe under the hood. Say Hawaii, do you feel like the state of HQ is finished at this point, or should we expect more feature updates before Chapter 3? It's definitely not finished. There are there's a couple of like usability issues that are pretty bad, and the science department has never got its full update. And then there will be new stuff coming in Chapter 3 as well. So there's more stuff coming.
Huh?
I don't know if it'll make it. I don't know if it'll become before or after Chapter 3. Just it's hard to predict. Like my time division. But is definitely like, I would say currently about of my modding time is like 70-30 Chapter 3 dev work to live like bug fixes and adding features right now. I tend to kind of like when Chapter 2 launched, it was 100 to 0. I was like 100% on patchwork, 0% on Chapter 3. And then like as we get closer to Chapter 3, I kind of shift the percentage until... That's usually why we get to the point right like in the last couple of months before an expansion launches where I switch it the other way and it's 0% on patches, 100% on the next expansion. As I just kind of like look at my calendar every week and lay out my hours to be certain number of, like I know I can squeeze in, you know, like a 3-hour modding session most evenings. And then I just divvy up how many of those are going to be for patches and how many of those are going to be for Chapter 3 stuff. And so... depending on how long, so if you want an idea of what I'm going to be working on for the next few patches, outside of like bug fixes, like obviously I'm constantly combing through our bug report thing to find anything that's like a major issue or a dumb issue that should be easily fixed, like the naked Brannigan, like that's got fixed for next patch. Those like I'll knock out, and then it's just like quality of life stuff to just make the mod more friendly and less irritating for those of you guys who've been playing for a long time, or you know, which that stuff, it becomes irritating, and for new players it becomes a big turn off, might frustrate them to quitting. So like I'm trying to keep the patch content coming, but at some point it'll get to the point where it's like I can see the finish line and I just can't get distracted anymore, so I'll switch gears. And so depending on how everything plays out with the stuff I have planned, it'll determine whether or not I get a chance to go back to HQ. I am hoping to, for this coming patch, add something I've talked about a few times in HQ, which is showing you the surplus from your settlements somewhere on the HUD. Like, I would like you to be able to see, hey, I know that the settlements are providing, you know, X power or X food or X water, because it's not really displayed anywhere other than when you pop into the command mode and see that you don't have any of those things to build with, and that's not a good way to show data. Okay, so we've got 13 out of 14. We built our farms. I think this place is as good as we're getting it until I go back and fix the ROTC bug. So let's head to our map. We're just gonna get the whole tour in today. Another thing we could do is I do have enough. What do you call it? I've got enough ASAM sensors. I could go start another city plan too. But I guess we should. Oh, Starlight Spectacle would be a good one. Let's go to Nord. Maybe we'll do that. Let's go to Nordhagen and we'll go pop over to Spectacle and get another one rolling. Short window. Your current computer specs somewhere. Your machine moves much faster than mine. So curious. No, but I can probably tell you roughly. I'm using an i7 processor that's about, it would have been, I never buy top of the line. I always buy like as high as you can go before the massive price jump. So for example, I tend to buy an X70 video card, not the X80 or X90, because usually the jump between the you know, like I have a 2070, because the jump to a 2070 to 2080 was so much money where I was like, nah, I'm not, I'll just stay middle of the pack. Like I'm still running at a higher end than a console, but I don't want to spend the money on that. So that tends to be what I do. So I'm probably on whatever, whenever the 2070 came out, I'm on like whatever the mid-range i7 processor was. I think I've got 32 gigs of RAM. And what other stats are relevant? That's all that's really relevant, right? Like everything else, like you just don't care how much power I'm using, other than it might make some of you environmentalists mad at me. Zero defense. This place not doing great. Okay. Oh, this place we already did switch all the farms over. So this place we already did the best we could from that perspective. Yeah, this place just needs more folks. So let's check on their... I like how it shows this bed is unassigned, but this dude clearly disagrees. Alright, let's do our little report action. I'm really just... This is making me kind of want to pull the... Even though I like this report system of like having it paginated, I always want the population report. So I kind of, it's making me think that I should take these niche ones, or maybe all 7 of them, and pull them out into their own menus just so you can get access to them quicker. Like that might be more user friendly than what I've done. 43% chance of recruitment. That could be better. Why don't we build a recreational plot? Let's get those numbers up. So space is gonna be an issue because this is a city plan. You know what? We'll continue to do our thing of like just wreaking havoc on our commercial stuff. I think I think what I'm gonna end up doing is when I do, so I've been debating on my next playthrough of whether it's gonna be easy or hardcore, and I might do both. I might do like alternate weeks or something, but I think the easy mode is where I'm gonna go hardcore on commercial because I don't have to worry about resources as much. So I'll be able to just play with, because I love the commercial plots. I think they're so cool looking, and I really want you guys to hear all the settler barks. That was like a feature I was so happy to get in. So I kind of want to go like hardcore commercial if we do like a easy mode version or easy mode playthrough. Oh wait, what am I doing? I want to customize this plot. Customize plot. Let's make some recreational plots here that they can build immediately, and that will pad the happiness. And happiness is what drives your recruitment chance most of the time. Alright, there's you and you as well. Let those build up, and I don't even have to select building plan because I don't think I have any training plots installed for those. That'll be another thing that'll be fun in the next playthrough is I'm going to install most of the add-on packs. I'm sure there'll be a couple that I shouldn't for various reasons, whether it's they're not being supported actively or like basically I'm going to target all the ones where I know that I have regular conversations with the mod authors, because that way if there's any problems with my playthrough I can get them to help me fix the issues. Alright, so those should build up in a second here. What's going on in here? Oh, a bunch of homes. This is like an apartment building. Come on, guys. We got some beautiful recreational plots ready for you to go. What do you think? You gonna move into one? We'll just get this moving manually. They may already have recreational. I've just lost track of who's assigned to what. I don't think so though. There's a lot of people to have. Let's see, do you have one? You might, but you're going to come build this one now. Well, hopefully you guys can sort out the assignment later. Let's get those happiness numbers up. Those are rookie numbers. 66. Chris Peterson finally got the DLC settled to work like an ESL. Had to completely delete it and make sure the archive was deleted, then re-download it 2 more times for it to finally take. Oh, doesn't it drive you nuts when your mod managers just refuse to let go of a version? That's so frustrating. I mean, that's why I don't use a mod manager right now. Like, I'm probably gonna have to change my tune when I do a playthrough with all of the add-on packs, because I don't want to have to manually manage juggling those that many files. Like, I don't mind it when it's the you know, 12 mod load order. I can do it by hand with copy pasting and bat files and stuff, but trying to do that with 40 add-on packs, that does not sound pleasant. I think I saw you guys talking in chat about shooting at it. It does feel very shootable right now. I do kind of want to, like, just take pot shots at it. Just kind of... What kind of idiot flies a Zeppelin in a world where every other moron has a gun they're firing in the air? Oh, here's our municipal power pole, far from the desk where we want it. Did I build a second one right over here? No, this is the recruitment. Okay. All right, there we go. Got our double rec. Let's see where our happiness is trending now, if that changes our recruitment chance. That's the downside of the way happiness works. I actually think this is a nice feature of that happiness trends over time. It doesn't just instantly get fixed. But I could see an argument for something like you're trending toward happiness being the one that's used for your recruitment chance. Like, that doesn't seem that unreasonable. Just to be able to jack it up on the fly if you want to. But all right, well, we're trending toward a reasonable number, so we're all good here. All right, so let's head down to, I guess we're gonna take a big swim, go to Spectacle. I'm not gonna meet the Minutemen at Castle yet, so let's go to however the heck you pronounce this, and then we'll swim across, I guess. All right, I guess we should give ourselves a little marker here. Wait, do I have it? When did I go to Spectacle Island? I don't understand why I can fast travel there. I don't know why I didn't look at that first. Did I already claim this place? I just forgot about it? This is all vanilla, right? This isn't like... I didn't build... I know I didn't build this. No, there's no way this is... I'll say, is this a city plan? There's no way.
That's it.
Thanks. No, this is definitely not a city plan. Alright, let's go see... Is this place already set up? I just don't remember coming here. Okay, yeah, we definitely didn't come here. Die, filthy crustacean! Can I use it? Oh, that's right, we gotta power it up, right? Make sure the wires to the generator are all connected. Generator must be on before turning on the signal tower. Okay, so let's follow the wires. Get this thing turned back on. I'm about to fight a Mirelurk Queen, aren't I? That's not fun. I have any bottle cap mines I can just leave out here before I engage in this? Yes, I do. Oh, that's not what I want. Equip. Alright, one of you over there. Dog meat, please stay away from those. Ah, you kidding me? Oh! Bingo! Oh! Hey! That's conveniently located. I guess that's how we're gonna fight our friend the Queen. A couple of bottle cap mines. And a fat man. Now, is there a way to get upstairs here so I've got a good vantage point? Yes, there is. Oh god, I'm so slow. Tank 'em, dog meat. There she is. Hey! Don't mind me. I heard the bottle cap mines go off. And no problem. Anybody else? This generator's so loud. Okay then. I guess we can drop that again. Thanks for that. Glad we can borrow you. Oh, look at all this ammo. Don't need any of that. Okay. Alright, and I feel like we're still gonna have to fight some more dudes here. No, I don't want any of that. Or did our bottle cap mine get them? Yeah, might have got them. Alright. So I think now we can go turn on... I think we turn on this signal and then we get attacked once more, right? By like some more kings and stuff. And then we kick this on. And here we are. Get back here. Is that it? No, there's more than two. Hello. Come back here. What kind of garbage you got for us? The Hunter's Lead Pipe. Really low tier legendaries around here. Okay, I think that was it, right? Did we claim it now? Ta-da! Okay. And then I guess we can just put everything over here so we don't lose it. Let's put we'll stick our desk in here. We'll stick I guess we're gonna build a city plan, so we'll just do that and we'll see where it sticks a municipal. Oh, short on rubber and aluminum. I feel like that's probably stuff I got in my inventory if I just grab, let's see here, what do we got? This is gonna have rubber, right? Yep. Okay, now we just need aluminum. Can we just find some land out here? How about this ship? Does this got aluminum? No, it's not scrappable. Has that fat man got any aluminum in it? Where'd it go? No? Disappeared on me? No, of course that's steel. Steel. All steel. Makes sense. Makes sense. Anybody got some aluminum? How about this chair? Are these chairs made of aluminum? No, steel. Most of this stuff's going to be steel. Alright, well thankfully we got super speed with Workshop Plus, so we can Jet around, not waste too much time. Should take the ceramic. I'm always I'm short on that. Always on a hunt for toilets. Let's see, those are going to be steel if I can even scrap them. I feel like aluminum's never something you find out in the wild, out on the ground. It's like, yeah, it's going to be a, I got to scrap some stuff from my inventory. Oh, there's a little bit of aluminum. Sure, I'll scrap that thing. Hey, that worked. Okay. Let's give me back my cursor focus. There we go. Alright, I'm just going to build this here because we're about to do a city plan. Although I don't recall if I have it set up to require a leader. I guess we can just turn that off. Alright, let's build ND County's plan. No, we don't want, do I bring Hubert over? I guess I could bring Hubert over here. Oh, no, I think he's at HQ, so we don't want to do that. Alright, we have 0 settlers here, right? Just this poor sap. He's not going to be a good leader. Oh, I should probably turn off insert before I forget and actually accidentally make a mistake and scrap dog meat or something. Okay. Yeah, we're just going to turn off leader requirement temporarily because I don't want to have to go fetch another settler and I don't want to console spawn one right now. So mod config, settlements to gameplay, leader requirement off. And then let's start this up. Select city plan. Use this. Oh, you can. Did I use up all my sensors when I was running around building? Let's see. Junk, ASIM sensors. Yeah, we got 17. All right, can we craft 3 more? Bet they're gonna require aluminum. Oh, they require all sorts of stuff. Ah, foiled. Need 3 more. What is it? Aluminum, crystal, fiber optics, and we have none of any of them. Okay, well I guess we didn't need to cheat then because we can, well I guess I'm going to have to cheat for this now or else run all over the place, which I don't really want to do. So, we're going to do a little bit of cheating here. Help ASAM for MISC. And we'll just add myself a box. Or let's see here. Can I figure out which one is the right one? Because one of them is for our tutorial and it's not a real one, which I don't want. 100 ASAM's alpha build only. No, we're not going to do that one. Okay, it's got to be that first one because the one says so. Player dot add item 9011242. Box of sensors. Oops. Select city plan again. Use this plan. Pay and build. And tear it all down. Yes, here we go. Let's see how this thing does with cinematic mode here. Chris Peterson, is there a command to force continuous settlement refresh if and when it hangs up and stalls at a certain percent? If you're talking about for the city plan not building, there is a refresh. I don't recommend, it's like, I would only recommend using city plan refresh if you absolutely have to. It's super system intensive, and if you already feel like things are stuck, then that's probably not going to help your situation. But if things are just stuck, like with my city plans, like with ROTC ones, they're just stuck because they can't get enough population, and that is something, that's a bug I have to fix in the ROTC city plans. They basically didn't have their expected population set correctly. And it was just the way that we ported them. When we ported them, the numbers that got recorded for each level were the number of settlers in the test saves we were using, and that was always like 20 or 22. So all the ROTC city plans are listed as requiring this massive amount of settlers, even though they really don't require that many. Oh, I missed the luck bobblehead? Well, it's gone now. It just got well, actually, I think it gets moved to the workbench. I was gonna say, it just got gobbled up by the, see, maybe it got moved. Otherwise, oh well. Get the bobblehead, too late. Oh, and I just realized we let the Fall of 4 theme play, so this video is getting flagged. Well, it seems to be done building, so let's Bop out of here. See if it kicks us in again or not. I'm curious if the bobblehead got moved to the workbench. I doubt it did. I think we do like stuff that's in containers. We move there when you kick off a city plan, but I don't think we touch loose items. But I could be wrong. Let's go find out. See if we can still get that bobblehead, or if we're just out of luck. Well, the wiring's working. That's a good sign. Oh, it's still building. Still some stuff popping in. Oh, another Mirelurk. Where? Come here, buddy. Oh, got away. How do we get in here? So we built up a little structure around this. There we go. All right, let's transfer. Yeah, I'm not seeing. It would have been under MISC, right? If it had been grabbed, or did it get flagged as junk? No, it did pick up a lot of stuff though, because I didn't see this thing glowing when I came by earlier. I guess I should go check. Maybe it's still in there. Maybe it didn't get picked up somehow. Well, let's go take a look. So you guys said it's over here in the little ship. Josh Parkerson, how many in-game days needed to pass before you can replace a Mark 1 beacon at a location for discovery purposes? And always many thanks to you and the team. I believe... I don't know that it's day-based. I'll have to go check the code. I honestly don't remember. Like my gut says that it's something like it's probably it's still there. Cool.
Yes.
It's probably a location array. Well, looks like we got some like clipping items here. It's just really fighting me trying to get those caps. And an array is generally capped at 128 items. So I'm betting it's something like we track the last 128 locations use the beacon in, and when you do that, then it resets the list, and then you'll be able to do them again back in order. So it's designed to kind of make it so you can only do it once per location. That's my guess, but if I had to guess on a timer we would have set, it would have been 30 days, just because that's the cell reset timer. That would have been my guess is what we put if we did a timer method. So I would have to consult the code though to confirm how it works. Somebody may have already asked me this and documented on the wiki. You can check on the wiki.simsettlements2.com. But that would be one of those types of things where I would love to add HQ upgrades to alter the behavior of it, to be like, you know, allow you to mine the same location more rapidly, things like that. Okay, let's check out this place. I haven't looked at this design in a long time, and all I remember in my head is level 3 of this, because it's that really cool baseball stadium. Well, I guess it's not really a baseball stadium. It's like a it's like a battle arena. It's more like the baseball stadium that Mo remembers. Okay. Oh, we got some hints of what's coming. Alright, so did we get any settlers right away? We did not. That's shocking. Usually as soon as a recruitment beacon pops, you get a few freebie settlers. Okay, so what I want to do is find farm plots and make sure they're advanced. So like here's one. This looks like a basic. Swap you over. And also looks like this one lost its floor bit. Alright, accept. Oops, I just canceled it. Alright, let's give it a second. Yeah, it looks like this is missing some of its oh no! We're out of building materials. Oh, because we're not on the caravan network. That makes sense. Because we have no people. All right, well, we can at least fix... These are missing their floor things. Let's see. Customize plot. Cancel. All right, we're going to just build them manually. They didn't get their... I think this is something that ND had pointed out to me, so that they for some reason, their foundations didn't get exported correctly when we ported this. I don't have any concrete. Alright, we're going to TGM just because. Get you a foundation. Let's see. Surface snap off. There you go. How about you, buddy? There you go. Alright, so we got 2 farms here we can turn into advanced for when one day our people join us here. Oh, it's probably gonna, but it's gonna tell me I gotta pay for it, and I'm not gonna be able to. Keep this option. Hopefully, it's supposed to just store your choice. Not enough resources. Keep this option, and then I'll have to. I don't have the cost. Yeah. Okay. Not enough resources. Okay. So. Did we get a person yet? I should actually check if do we even have a recruitment beacon here. That's also, now that I'm thinking about it, that's something that in that little report, I don't know that it tests for a beacon. It just assumes you would have one. So I should probably make sure that that does that, because otherwise people might expect a recruitment chance and then it being impossible if they don't have one. I'm guessing there's a beacon over here, though. This looks like a spot with a recruitment beacon. Yeah, and it's powered, so we should be getting some. I don't know why we haven't gotten our initial settlers yet, but yeah, that'll take care of itself over time. Okay. So, but we really need, you know what? I'm going to send somebody over there, and that way we can get a caravan plot going, so that at least they're part of the network and participating a little. I guess we can rob somebody from Sunshine since we're just so overloaded with people there. That seems like the smartest play. Let's go there. I wonder if we have city. I can't tell if either the city plan code maybe is just ignoring the bobbleheads, or maybe that one was just out of the range for the pickup mechanic that picks up all the items during the scrap phase of a city plan. I'm really curious why we didn't lose that luck bobblehead. I'm happy we didn't, but. Okay, who do we got? We can sacrifice here. Nobody on power. Nobody on food, because we're trying to fix that. So we need to find somebody who's on something else.
Yes?
A prospector. You're probably on rare materials. Can't take our transfer power.
Just about anything can be a lure, if you know what you're doing.
One day they will call you a brewmaster too.
Thanks, Monty. Let's see. You're a visitor.
Yes?
Okay, our sanitation, we can sacrifice that, because the sanitation, we need like 3 of these to handle all of the mess we've got going on here. So Gremlin, you're going to lead a settlement. I'm going to take you to HQ eventually, but for now, the people of Spectacle Island need your help. Oh, level 3 sanitation too. Oh, actually, she was doing pretty good. Look at that, 75%. Ah, that was a mistake. I should send her back. You were crushing it, Gremlin. Let's bring you. Oh, I bet I can't now, though, because it's full here. Oh, well. Okay. Damage done. I didn't expect that much, that one thing to be able to support that much. That's awesome. That's good. I mean, I don't want... The goal was not to have people having to build, like, 6 sanitation plots at a settlement or anything. I just figured with all these power plants, we've got some serious pollution going on. Did somebody build up our... No, okay, I'll say, did somebody get reassigned to our commercial again? They're setting up a shop at County Crossing. How dare they? Okay, we gotta go have words with somebody at County Crossing. They assigned themselves to the wrong plot type. City services. Something's happening at County Crossing. They're popping off all of a sudden. Oh, so this place, just a little more defense, and this thing looks like it's ready to pop. We can get this up to, what level is this? Level 1, level 2. Give us a bunch more water. But it looks like we are at proper defense, so maybe I just need to give this thing some time to settle here. Oh no, we're just a little shy in defense. Okay, so here's one of the points where I think, where that report is going to be really handy, because now I can go check the report and see how close we are and see how many, what do you call them, turrets I would have to build. Just totally blank there. Let's see. Power, defense. So we are shy by 30. So that would be... That's quite a lot of turrets. That would be like 3 missile turrets. Not what I want to be doing. But we don't have the manpower to up to that. So where are any of these close to being upgraded? Let's see. What's your situation here? Can't afford upgrade costs. Well, we should be able to afford those now. Let's try triggering it. There we go. Ooh, that one doesn't look great with the explosion model. So I don't know if you guys if I've talked about this. All those explosion models, they're all dynamically generated. We created, Sebo created this this script for 3ds Max that could like take in a model and try and calculate where like natural seams would be to break stuff. And for some things it works great. Like for wood structures, it works really good because Bethesda built these meshes to where they're complete, like all their wood planks and stuff are complete models. But some of the things like the ground or the concrete were just like fake meshes, and their seams are really awful. Dominic, did you voice any of the NPCs? I did not.
Yeah.
I have a tough time putting my voice in the game because I don't really want you guys to be thinking, especially because I stream so much and I'm kind of the voice of the mod because I'm putting out all the patch notes videos. I feel like it's super unimmersive to have me in there. But we've discussed it quite a few times of putting me in there and either sneaking me in tiny roles or or going really overt with it and putting me in as a DJ. We've discussed. Stuff like that has come up. Don't know if any of that will happen. If we ever decide to put on a puppet show for the theater, I can do a pretty mean Elmo voice now after hanging out with my kids in front of Sesame Street for so many years. And then that wouldn't count because you guys would never know that it was me. It's Elmo. We hired Elmo. I should ask Neher if he could pull that off. Could he do a puppet animation? Get a puppeteer into the Wasteland Theater. That'd be really cool. There's an animation marker you don't see in the game. Alright, so I'm thinking... Okay, that place upgraded. And is it not producing any defense now? What's going on? There it goes, 60. Why is it only 68? It was just producing 68 at the previous level. Oh, I bet it was it a... What happened here? Let's see, what's going on? It feels like it went down a level. Now it's level 1. Maybe there was something funky with it. Maybe the plot was kind of stuck, and we just unstuck it. So that's a bummer. We just lost defense there. No, it's still 283. Okay, so I think that plot was just like in some funky state, and we just happened to get it unstuck. Oh, that's a bummer. I was hoping to see this water one upgrade there. So yeah, I guess we can spam some turrets just to trigger that, but I really don't want to do that. What's our turret situation? Do we have many? I guess we haven't gone too crazy yet here with turrets. I like a few turrets. I think they're fun to have scattered throughout. I just don't like having to spam them. Okay, looks like I was aware of my defense issue and built a few of them. Yeah, we can put a few turrets around the outskirts. Put some on these buildings and such. That won't feel too bad. Assuming we have the resources for it. Oh, are we in TGM still? Yes. Let's get out of there. Yeah, we can still build quite a few. What am I better off doing? Do I have gun nut? So resource-wise, I'm better off with these because I have so little oil. So like I'll get, with these I'll get 10 of them, which would be 50 defense. With this I'm only gonna get 5, which would be 40 defense. So I'm actually better off building these just on the amount of oil I have, which that's okay. I like the scrappiness of that solution. This is the resources we had available. It's what we had to build. All right, let's tripod this on here best we can. No, don't exit me. Don't exit. I guess this plot is fully level 3, so I can put something on its roof. And same with this guy. I hope no one was hoping for me to city plan and share these out, because they're now going to have floating turrets if I do. Yeah, I guess we can defend our water situation over here. Oh, I guess I can turn on surface snap again, make this a little easier. Alright, we needed to get to 318, I think, so just a few more of these. And I like them up on the roofs, that's kind of fun. Oh, now I need surface snap. Oh man, it's late. It's already 10:50. Sorry, I didn't realize. I was having too much fun doing tinkering with settlements. We'll switch gears to chat mode just a few minutes here. Let me finish up. This will be our last settlement we tinker with today. And how about on this roof? Okay, you've already got a turret down there. Okay, we need one more, it looks like. I guess we'll put one right at the entrance over here. Alright, so I think that's enough. I think that gives us the 318 we needed. Let's go see if this guy's icon goes away. Not yet. Alright, let's go check our needs report one more time. Joe, get off the roof. You're making us look bad. 318 needed 316. Okay. So if we go over to that plot, we should be able to force an upgrade on it right now. Derp Spaz great mods can get like 135 days in Fallout. Partially your fault. Nice. That is a lot of time. That is a lot of hours. Okay, let's see if this one actually upgrades. So it had 58. Upgrade to level 2. And let's see, was it level 1 right now? Yeah, let's see if this actually goes to level 2 or if we got another situation like our last one over there.
Yeah.
Oh, look at you guys building in some more shops. They didn't get the memo about my industrial ban until we solve all needs problems. I mean, commercial ban. Oh, you know what we'll do? We're going to shut down that general store. We're going to put this person on that sanitation plot we got. Darsenia 2. Because that sanitation plot was doing some work. Didn't realize how much it was providing. Get over here, please. Lose a little caps production, but we are rich. We've got 70,000 caps in the network right now. Does Fallout 4 show, or does Steam show days played? Or does it just show hours and you guys are doing the calculation? Okay, we went up to 70. Okay, so we did gain a little bit of water, so that's good. Drop in the bucket, pun intended, for the amount of water we need. But okay, let's see if our sanitation kicks back in here. Still, the assignment still hasn't happened. Darsenia, get with the program here. Let's try that again. Assign. Okay. All right. Well, let's start getting our final save set up here. So we're about to switch gears to chat mode. So I am just going to basically leave the game running for background entertainment. and we'll have it here in case you guys want me to show you something in particular. We're just going to chat. I'm especially interested in talking about what kind of data points you guys feel like are missing. Like, what is some invisible data you would really like to have access to from SimSettlements? Because one of the big features, like try and put like a feature that I can highlight that's exciting that we can do in the patch video every cycle. Make sure there's some new quality of life thing or something flashy to make the patch exciting, and to, you know, think about it, it's like, oh, it was the patch that added that. And that for this next patch, which will be in about 9 days, is going to be reports. So I'm going to add some more information for you guys so you can really dig in and get your settlements working the way you want. As you saw we did today, we've been bouncing around trying to perfect everything, and having a little extra information helps with that. So we're going to do save LP day. What are we up? 37 today, I think it was. 37 end of session. And then we're going to set up our normal stuff of set game hour to 11. Force weather 2B52A. Set time scale to 0.1. Talking about that, I think we were talking about that time scale stuff earlier. This is pretty much the only time I do that. Is all right. Let's move myself far away from that recreation plot, because it's going to drive me mad with the background sounds. Let's get a play. Here we go. This will work. And then we'll TFC up into the air. Yeah, we can watch our people wander around. Mostly we're just going to watch our ghoul guards wander around. They seem to be doing most of the walking here. Hey, that's a nice little view. All right. So if you guys got any questions, please post them in chat. Put an @KingGath on them so they stand out to me. If you guys want me to show you anything in the game, like how to do something, if you're curious about mechanics that you don't feel like looking up on the wiki, or you're just curious about my perspective on them, I'm happy to talk about stuff coming to the mod in the future. I won't talk story content, but I'm happy to talk mechanics, because most of the mechanics I've publicly stated are already, they exist in some form in Conqueror. We're just kind of polishing them up and bringing them up to our standards that we have with SS2 now, and tying them better into it. So a lot of the stuff that's coming in Chapter 3 and the 3.0 patch, I'm happy to talk about mechanic-wise. So anything you guys want to talk about, I'm down for it. I'm probably up for another hour 10, hour 20, hour 30, depending on how engaged we all stay here. Corey Pacina, I have an HQ bug where Mala is assigned to every department, and I don't see any of the other workers. Any advice to fix this? I'm on console with only S2 required mods and add-on packs. So how long, Corey, how long have you been playing that save? Because there was a bug with the, so what it is it's not actually Mala is assigned to every department. It's that all of the little things. So for that assignment thing in HQ, what we do is we create little bobbleheads that are named after each person, and like each one represents a different settler. So when you select it in that menu, the code looks at it and sees which settler represented. And what happens on some of the older code, we had made a mistake with the way we set up those bobbleheads, and it would duplicate them for the same name over and over again, even though technically each one represented a different person. You just would never know that. So the interface is just really bad, and we fixed it in a patch. But if you have a save that's from before the HQ 2.0 patch, you could still have that issue. The HQ 2.0 patch, let me check what the date was on that. Maybe somebody else will remember. I want to say it was in July. Maybe it was later than that. Let's see. Because that patch took a long time to put together. That was like our longest patch cycle ever. HQ 2.0 was in July 22nd. So if your save was from before July, you could have that old issue. But unfortunately on console, like, we lack a lot of the tools to troubleshoot. It's such a pain with the Xbox. Like, I actually have I got a save to HQ on my Xbox recently, just to have it so that I could have it there for testing and make sure everything was generally working. But I didn't get deep into HQ. Like, I have it, I think I'm like partway through the tutorial on there. And I haven't run into that yet, but it was a save started like probably with maybe the patch after HQ 2.0. Yogi, for the data thing, when you were running at a deficit, the network-wide total didn't show a negative, just a 0. Could that be changed? Yeah, I guess it could be. I was trying to keep it to keep it from being confusing to anybody who's just like a cursory understanding of it. But maybe that's not giving folks enough credit, and people would understand if it was at a negative. So I think I just set it to like a min, like it couldn't go below 0 for display purposes. But yeah, that could be changed for sure. Russ, do you have a recommended build limit % for settlements? So what we do for the city plan contest is we say double the vanilla. And like that seems to be a safe % for even on Xbox. So for that, you can actually go to the workshop bench, hit manage, and then configure build limits and just increase it by 100% once. That's usually safe. And that will usually get you at least to level 1 on the city plans that have levels. And then beyond that, you're not going to be able to build them. One of the things we did to help with build limit in the last patch is we separated out your build limit cap from plots and from the city plans. So that way you could have them independent. So you could let your city plans stop when you hit the build limit and let your plots keep building. That way you can still get the advantages. Even if your city plan's stuck at level 1, you could still get all the plots in it to level 3, which I think you're pushing just on the edge. But I think anything beyond, like if you're on any Xbox aside from the very first Xbox One, like if you're on Xbox One S or Xbox One X, or I hate the way they name these, or any of the series, then you should be totally fine going beyond 2x the build limit. Dominic, something to show how many settlers are sick in each settlement. So like, yeah, so sickness stuff. So I think I have the outbreak chance, but nothing regarding sickness. Yeah, that could be done. So sickness-based reports. I'm just gonna start putting some notes down. So sickness-specific reports. And one of the things we have in the, so let me see if I have it. Let me build one real quick. So let's get out of TFC. We're going to do a little experiment here. I want to see, so we have a terminal at HQ that has a lot of medical information in it. And our plan was to have that appear in our hospitals as well. Now my question is enough data that you would need in there or not? And so let's build a hospital real quick. We will find out. So let's find, I guess it doesn't matter. We can just change any building plan because we're not going to keep this. Ah, another person snuck a commercial in under my nose. Nope, not choose building plan. We want to do customize plot. Change plot type. We're going to switch this to municipal. Okay, I'll keep reading while I let that go. But we're gonna test and see if there's, maybe somebody knows already. Is there a medical terminal in our hospital, in our 2x2 hospital? Because if so, that I would like to look at that right now. I could just go to HQ and look at it, but I'm kind of curious. I also want to just see if it's in our hospital or not, because that would be a good place to put that information too, outside of just on the city manager thing, like for immersion's sake, anyway. Nearly Headless Nick, do you think there could be Start Me Up alternative start mod support for the current story, or would that be more a future Conqueror feature? Yeah, so we're trying to figure that out. That's something like, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So right now the focus is, you know, we have a story arc that we're playing through. Like, let's get that to completion. And it's definitely on our list to revisit some chapter 1 content for polished. So we want to offer like means to skip the tutorials. I really want to make the plot unlocks not be a story moment, because there's basically just like, after you get to industrial, and then you get that like makeshift thing that Jake hacks together for you that we patched in. After that, the only mention of new plot types in the story really comes at that moment in the Vault Tech basement. And so if we just cut that little bit, we could just introduce the other plot types over time. And there's like a little bit before it was like, oh, you wanted more to do with plots. Like basically we could just change a small handful of dialogue lines and make it so that we could introduce the plot types more gradually, instead of like, here you go, here's 4 new types all at once. It would feel a lot better if you got, you know, if you just got them a little more streamlined in there during those those quests before then. I think the reason that ended up being the way it is because the story kind of takes you away from your settlements for so long that there's really no time to use them before then anyway. I think that's how the structure ended up happening. But for people who aren't powering through the story, it feels really rushed. Like all of a sudden you just have a million plots. Oh, I just let that build and I shouldn't have because I was talking too much. This is, I'm sure expected nothing less from me. All right, let's get a hospital in here. Okay, we'll let that build. But yes, nearly headless Nick. We would like to do something so that the story at the beginning makes sense if you do the pre-build option when that comes. But it's going to be one of those things that I don't know that it'll make it for Chapter 3 launch. It might be something we patch in later. And then we'll just be discouraging people from using that system on their first playthroughs. because it would make it would make the story make no sense. Like everything Jake's saying would not make any sense if you use the pre-build. And for those of you who don't know what we're talking about with the pre-build, there was a system in Conqueror that will be making a return with Chapter 3 where you could rig up the game to start building city plans all over the settlements before you even leave Vault 111. So that way it's kind of like a way to randomize the world. So it you can kind of create yourself a random scenario where the world is different every time you emerge from the vault, which ends up being like a little side benefit of having city plans available in your game, is that you can kind of also semi-randomize the world, which is a nice little bonus. And obviously Jake immediately talking to you about the way he talks about ASAM sensors and folks not really knowing how to use them, and instead you find that, you know, there's 20 settlements fully loaded with ASAM sensors, like belies everything he says. So that is what Nick is referring to in this, and making that a little more sensical. Chris Peterson, there's an older mod for settlement that lists what settlers are assigned to what job, etc. It tells you the output. Maybe something updated for SS2. I actually think so. I think you're talking about ASAM maintenance software. And I think that Pross started to port that over, and then I think some of the stuff he did for it ended up as the assignment overhaul stuff that we put in the com array. And I think his plan originally was to port that over and just make it the software for the com array. And he got derailed doing other things, or got focused on other stuff, whatever the case. So that just never ended up happening. I think that's the mod you're talking about. Okay, yeah, no terminal in here. Maybe it gets added at level 3. Maybe you guys in chat have already answered this question, but we're going to do a little cheat command here. I'm going to force this thing to level up. Okay, Inky Brush is in my save. The HQ radio never unlocked and was never added to my inventory. Is there an easy way to add the radio? I'm playing on PC. Which quest are you on? How far are you into the quests?
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, there's a console command to add it. Like, I couldn't tell you. I can tell you how to find it. You would do help, and then in quotation marks HQ radio, and then the number 4, and that should list out what you want. Is, let me get this HUD showing better. So you want this alchemy HQ radio, and you just add that to your inventory by going player.add item, and then do whatever the code is you see there. So for me, it's A02A677. For yours, the A will be something else. The A might be a E or a 9 or something else, and so you need to just type in that code, and that'll add it to your inventory. Let's see, no terminal yet. I think this might have been one of those things that was like on our to-do list to like go back and add the terminal after the medical, what do you call it? After the medical terminal was finished being designed, because it was added pretty late in Chapter 2's dev. Because if you go, anybody who's read through the medical terminal will tell you how insane it is. Andy Cowdy, one of our writers, went crazy with it. Oh, wait, is this it maybe? Oh, this is probably the placeholder. This is probably where it's meant to be. And it never got replaced. It never got swapped. So this is meant to be a copy of the HQ terminal. So I guess we can just pop over the HQ, because I'm curious what kind of data. I know we have like information about what diseases you've encountered, and I think number of people total that have been sick, but I don't know if we track how many are currently sick with the disease. And if we do, it's probably network wide. So yeah, that could be definitely some useful information about sick settlers to put in a report. Tracking them, I should also add to the tracking tools, to the, what is it? Vitomatic tracking tools. I'll put that on the list. Add track sick to Vito tracking. That might already, is that already on there? Does anybody know offhand? I haven't used it in so long. I guess I can just check. I have all that stuff in my inventory. Let's do Vitomatic tracking. No, we don't have that. So we could actually, yeah, we could add sick. We could add incapacitated, stuff like that. All right, so let's go to the medical department over here. Check out this terminal. This is our disease database. So these are all the diseases you've experienced so far, and you can read about them. And then if you've researched them, I think you can read about treatment. And like the amount of details in the text in here is pretty wild. Oh yeah, so you can see total infections and recorded deaths if you have deaths enabled. So yeah, that's just like running infections, not necessarily how many are currently happening right now. So yeah, that could definitely be a useful report, especially if people are going to run out with disease cures. So I think what I'm going to do with the next patch for disease cures, because I know this is like a sticky point in the mod for a lot of folks where people get hung up on things being a pain, is take the crops that are not used in making adhesive and make those the ingredients to make disease cures. That way all of your crops have a really pivotal use, right? You can either make your adhesive farm, or you can make a disease cure farm and not have the two stepping on each other's toes.
Storm's coming.
Let's see here. Mr. Joey M78, have you thought about interior recreational aside from relaxation, weight benches of strength, single treadmill, etc.? We opted to just let the add-on packs fill that space, so we knew that there was going to be a lot of plot types that we weren't covering. And I'm pretty sure you can find an add-on pack to add every combination of plot size and class, or damn near. Most of them exist in some add-ons, so I would highly recommend just download a few add-on packs. If you download some of the bigger ones like Captain Laserbeams or Praz or Tenuvia and Murmuracnes, the Wasteland Ventures series, some of those will have those missing plot combinations covered for you. 142. Before I go, there was a good 3-part report by Deep Dive Gaming early on in the stream. Got it. Hopefully, if I don't know if Deep Dive's still on. I haven't seen any messages from him in a while. I don't know if I'm going to scroll that far back in chat, because that would be a lot of chat to scroll back through. But hopefully he'll DM it to me through some other channel if it's good data. Sinister 1, for the settler count and limit displayed in workshop mode, bottom left. I recently had the limit displayed started going down. Nothing else changing. Any ideas? No, I don't know. But I did have one of my settlements. The number it was showing doesn't make any sense. So I made a save to do research on it. So I probably will figure something out in the next couple of weeks of what's going on with that. And I'm sure whatever you're running into is probably a similar issue. Nick Carter, do you own the PC version of Fallout 3? If not, Epic Games is offering Game of the Year version free tomorrow for 7 days. Very good to know. Yeah, if you guys haven't played Fallout 3, it's free on Epic Games Store. You should go grab it. Great game. Yeah, I own it multiple times actually. Love that game. Great game. And I remember being so hesitant about it because I was one of those old schoolers that was like, nah, you can't have Fallout outside isometric. And I waited for years to play it. And then when I finally did, I was like, oh my god, this is incredible. Like that moment, stepping out of the vault and hearing Three Dog talk about your dad. Oh, so good, so good. Chris Peterson, okay, cool. Maybe Prague gets back to it down the line or not. Yeah, I don't know. Or maybe he already has it done and I've just, maybe he put it out already and I'm talking on my butt. I tried looking for it before the stream because I wanted to show off his and CBR Gamers if he had it. But I did not see it up there. I saw the SS1 version, but not an SS2 version.
The sample is ready for collection.
All right, let us move back to Sunshine. There we go. Corey, does the DLC settlements work with caravan services? They do in their own location, unless you use HQ logistics department. You can research interworld space connections for any of your networks. So you can research like I think it's like long range caravans or caravan expeditions, something like that. There's a research option that will allow them to connect back to the Commonwealth. There's a few things like that in HQ right now, and I want to expand on that over time of like ways you can unlock and change some of the rules of settlement gameplay from HQ. I think that's like one of the places where we can add a lot of immersive ways to break the simulation, right? Like a lot of the gameplay rules we set up were to kind of simulate particular things. We wanted to encourage gameplay in a certain direction because it felt natural. So like, for example, the caravans have a limited range because we wanted you to build settlements kind of in a chain near each other and keep a caravan plot with them, and that kind of encourages that gameplay by having limitation. But having the HQ be able to bypass that in the late game so that you can play differently, I think is totally cool. So there's a few of those sorts of things in there now. Incubations, thank you. I believe the radio did not unlock because I have radio interruptions turned off. But we'll try to replicate the bug with a clean save for you to make sure it's not a mod conflict. Oh, that might be an oversight. Or it might be, yeah, I'm pretty sure we set it up though. As soon as the first I'd have to look at my code. I'm pretty sure that as soon as you get to the first time Jake's supposed to contact you, I'm pretty sure it adds HQ radio silently in your inventory, even if you have that option turned off. But if somebody has the time to confirm, that would be good to know. I don't have a save in a place where I could quickly test that. But yeah, if you have auto contact off, does Jake give you the initial radio? That's a good question. I feel like I went through and dealt with this, but it could be a matter of, where your save was when we put out that patch, or maybe I introduced a new bug to it. I don't know. That feels like something we would have tested. Because I remember spending a lot of time with that particular quest too. Because that one, the radio was really problematic on that one for a lot of folks. Chris Peterson, peripherally related, I would love to see more skins for BOS. They are limited compared to MM skins. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of room for faction skins. I think one of the reasons that we don't see a ton of them, like we haven't seen a lot of building plan packs in the different skins, is there's just not a lot of assets for them. Like the Institute has a fair amount, but they're not good for plots. Like, they were all of that those white walls and everything, they're one-sided, designed for building in that cell. Same with the Pridwin, not very much of that stuff was designed to be built in a kit that works with settlements. Like one of the reasons that you see so many in this style that we have of the corrugated metal and the 2x4s and plywood is because all of those are fully 3D rendered. So like you have the full piece that you can build from, and it will look good from every angle, whereas a lot of the build kits in Fallout 4 are only designed to be seen from one side ever, so they don't make good workshop items. Toriel, do you guys already have plans for I assume you mean Starfield mods, especially story-wise? I mean, no, definitely not, but we are excited about the idea of like, hey, we could just take a planet and tell our own story, and we wouldn't have to be limited by what's going on in the base game. But at the same time, part of the fun of doing like the story we've done for this is that we get to integrate with a lot of the existing lore. Because it saves us a lot of time. It makes it feel more like part of it as opposed to like some separate thing. But I mean, definitely we've had mild discussions, because we don't go deep in it because we're pretty busy with other stuff. Of the idea of like, oh, it could be really cool to like have our own planet to work with, where we could build our own cities and not have to worry about stepping on the toes of other mods. Like that definitely is appealing, especially because my assumption will be with Starfield is it won't just be that you can, go mess with the 1,000-odd planets they have and add stuff to them, but you'll be able to spin up your own, would be my presumption. They'll have tools for procedural generation and like adding in your own planets easily and putting them in the, in the universe. So I think it's going to be like, Starfield's going to be modders heaven. It's going to be, in theory, so damn good for modding. Hopefully Bethesda's addressed some of the issues that we have with their engine currently and don't lock it down. One of my concerns, because I've had some discussions with the guy who created Papyrus, and I don't think he likes how open Fallout 4 is. I think he wants to roll back some of the freedom he gave us, because we do some pretty insane stuff with the engine. So I have a hunch that he's going to roll back some of the freedom as opposed to give us more with Papyrus, which would be a real bummer. But we'll see. So I haven't really committed to anything Starfield wise, because I haven't played it yet. And like the idea, I can't, like, this has been, Sim Settlements has been like 6 years of my life, like an obsession, just an obsession. I've done very little gaming outside of this. Like all of my hobby time and some of my non-hobby time is just hard committed to this, to trying to realize this vision. And so I can't even contemplate, like, the idea of doing that again, like, makes me feel a little bit sad, because I'm like, man, by the time then, like, we finish, so like my first kid was born like a year after, maybe not a year, maybe a little bit less than that, less than a year after Sim Settlement, or then it took me to build the first Sim Settlements. So like my kid is kind of grown up alongside this, so then by the time we finish this, he's going to be like 6 or 7, and then to do that again, so then he's going to be a teenager by the time I finish the second project, having another human kind of showing me the measurement of how much time has passed has really made me feel my mortality. And like, I heard Todd Howard talk about this in an interview about how he's like, with how long it takes us to make our games, we're not really going to get to make that many more games before it's time for us to retire. Like, we need to just do the games we want to make. And it's kind of like that rings true for me of like, I got to be careful about what big projects I commit to, because I only am going to have time to do so many in my life. Like, I'm not that old, but still, you know, if it takes like 6 or 7 years to do a project, like, there's not that many you have time to do. I do love like, Starfield looks really cool. I'll just say that. Like, if it were out now, would I be thinking about modding it? Absolutely. Yagi, I'll double check that about the HQ radio maybe not being given to you tonight. Thank you, I appreciate that. Let me know. Just DM me on Discord, whatever you find. So why have you experienced a bug where Treadmill and Archibald's radio signal overwrites other radio signals? I've seen iBots broadcast their message in Jake's private frequency. No, I've never seen that. I have not seen that. There is a thing with like the way the signals work is you can only have so the iBots are broadcasting those. I mean, do you have any mod added iBots? Because like we definitely check to make sure we aren't using any vanilla frequencies, because there's like every number has to be absolutely unique for the frequency. So we check all of the vanilla frequencies and make sure we're not using those, but we don't check the mod ones. Eric Ember Studio, for when you play full hardcore mode with all settings on, make it more hardcore and pick all the mean speech options in the story. Player has no patience left to be nice. Kobus would be happy about that, to finally show off some of the angry lines. Just play my character as he's just a total dick. He's just like, I got too much going on. I don't got time for your crap, Jake. I'll make him an old man. Mr. Joey M, those add-on packs you mentioned, available for Xbox? Size, thank you for doing what you do. I'm sure there are a couple. I know there's not nearly as many add-on packs for Xbox on SS2 as there one for SS1 because of size. Because like if you're playing with SS2 plus Chapter 2, that's like 80% of your mod space right there. So I would bet, yeah, I didn't think about that. For Xbox users, yeah, you guys kind of, you're locked in. I would say when Chapter 3 comes out, if you are playing on Xbox, you are going to be playing like a very gutted version. You are going to like, it's almost like you should treat, Xbox is going to start to feel like the trial version of SS2, unfortunately, because Bethesda limited the mod space. There's nothing we can do about it. So I would highly recommend any of you who are playing on Xbox still, if you have access to a PC, like Fallout 4 all the time is given away for like $20 or less. If you look on the right sites, like it's on Steam. I'm sure there's other places to sell it. Bethesda just put out Skyrim on GOG. I wouldn't be surprised if they put Fallout 4 on GOG soon. But anyway, I would highly recommend you play it on PC if you can. And thankfully, because the game's old now, like it can run on pretty low system specs. So. But obviously I'm not suggesting anybody buy a PC for this, but if you got a PC, man, the SS2 situation is always going to be best experienced on PC, unfortunately. Just there's nothing else we can do about the mod limit space. Like we're already hacking away features that are minimal impact on your gameplay. Like we took away most of the outfits in the last patch for Xbox. One of the upcoming changes is we're going to get rid of all the colored textures. So like there's all the colorful buildings that we have, we're just going to get rid of all the color. And that'll save a lot of space on Xbox. It's like, for example, that red building right there. Like that will just switch to the normal brown on Xbox in a couple of weeks. Well, not a couple. I don't know when I'm going to do it, but it's on my short list of like that's a spot. That's a thing we can remove on Xbox that doesn't take away gameplay necessarily, but will save a lot of space. And we have to just keep making sacrifices like that just to make room for the story content. We have a long-term plan of Xbox offering a framework edition that has none of the story content, and it'll just be focused on mechanics so that, you could still build up settlements, do city plans, use our war mechanics, and not have a story to go behind it, which, will help for people who play a lot on Xbox and have already done the story once, but that is like one of the last things we will do, because to gut all the story content will be a huge effort. It's like, because it's very, very tied in. Chris Peterson, someone had a add-on set that had some cool-looking military barracks and set it for BOS back for SS1. It never made it, to my knowledge, to SS2, sadly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that that XV has reached out to that person. A couple people have reached out to them to try and see if they'd be up for letting us port it. And I haven't heard back if I'm not mistaken, because I'm pretty sure XV went on a mission to contact every add-on pack author at some point that never ported and asked for permission to port. That reminds me, I need to ask XV if he's made any progress on porting. There's a handful, there's like, I don't know, 15 building plans maybe from the mega packs that we had open permission on. They were either buildings I designed or other people in the community designed, where they said, here, you can use this for whatever you want, and they sent them to me, where we should get those ported forward into their own little mini pack. Corey Pacina, I'm on console. What add-on pack would you recommend for my limited space? Yeah, I forgot. I mean, I forgot about the limited space on Xbox. There aren't a ton of add-on packs available on Xbox. I would imagine that we've done a pretty good job tracking all of the available add-ons on the wiki. So let me see if I can find those to link to you guys. Let's see here. So if you go to wiki.simsettlements2.com, click on available add-on packs. Let's see, is there anything to show what's on Xbox? Yeah, sort of. So there's like this here. I'll bring it up on the screen. So there's this big chart here, and you can see, like, so when you first come to this page, it looks like this. You can click on them, and you can see most of them are not on Xbox, but occasionally there are some. Jam Pads 2 is on Xbox. Junktown is on Xbox. Superstructure is on Xbox. Tiny Living is on Xbox. But these are going to be huge, so I don't know how many of them you'd be able to fit with Chapter 2. Like Tiny Living, I think you could fit, but you'd have to check your space. But you can see quickly, and there's links to all of them. So this is a great resource right here. I'm going to link this directly into chat for you guys on Xbox. So what you would do is come to the site, look under here for the ones you want, click on the Xbox link, and then if you're logged into Bethesda.net, you can favorite them there, and they will show up in your favorites list when you go to your mod screen. So that would be the place to go to find out which ones are available, and then you can kind of figure out what you have available space-wise. Let's see. Gumby Shrimp. I would love to see some options for settlement plans that aren't as junky and look more like construction humans would build. Standard house with 4 walls and a roof, no holes and such. That will be space we will leave to the add-on pack authors. So we opted to go with the art direction of the base game, both because I like it, and because that's what the assets make easy for us to do. But add-on packs are free to add whatever content they want. And if you can't find what you're after, Gumby, that same site I just showed you has what I'm told are really easy to follow tutorials. So you could be the next big add-on pack author. I'm sure you are not the only one that would love that. If you wanna take a crack at it, I'll post another link. I have a very, very exhaustively detailed tutorial series for making content for SS2, and there are so many people who've made plots now that can tell you it is easy. That my tutorials are pretty easy to follow, and we've got a lot of tools to make it easier now. Like Pra has made these amazing Xedit scripts to make the process way simpler than it used to be for SS1. So, Gumby, it's time. It's time to get in there, make some plots for us. Unless you don't have a PC, then you're out on that. Definitely can't do it on Xbox, unfortunately. Eric Anderson, do you have any any idea why I lost sound in FO4? No, I don't. That's odd. One of the things I lose in FO4 that really drives me nuts is sometimes my copy paste will stop working. So if I'm trying to like copy paste console commands, they won't work, and I haven't figured out why that is, but it definitely seems to be FO4 related. But yeah, I have not run into the no sound issue. Seho, I know I don't use any modded iBots. Yeah, I have no idea. I know we test to make sure we're not using the things, but you know, if anybody else can replicate that of like a particular signal showing up through an iBot, I can look into it and try it out. But I need like a low modded save for proof of issue. The radio messages don't seem to be cleaned up too, like treadmills. Radio signal still persists even when you finish your quest of getting medicine for Archie. That might be a legit issue. That might be something like I just never thought to turn off. Oscar Fry, shoot it with missiles. I don't know what I'm supposed to shoot with missiles. Let's see. Rekka Diaslalai. Yeah, I'm really interested in what direction Chapter 3 will go. Well, like I said, I can talk mechanics. I can't talk story. So, Chapter 3 is going toward... okay, spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. I'm about to talk about what happens at the end of Chapter 2. If you haven't played through it, please mute me for about 10 minutes because that's how long I'm likely to talk, as you guys know. So warning, fair warning. The end of chapter 2, you know, you find out the gunners are coming back. You know, like, we know, anybody who's played through Nuke World, you know that the gunners are not operating solely out of the Commonwealth. They have a much larger presence in the world. They talk about commanders elsewhere. Oh no, just spilled part of my coffee. So they have a larger presence, and you find out that they are making a march. So you're going to have to deal with that. That is as much as I'll say story-wise. But that also means we're going to be taking the settlements, and you're going to start recruiting those folks to help you defend the Commonwealth. And so you get into what we call war mechanics, which is you'll take some number of your settlements and convert them from settlements into outposts, which you'll be able to house soldiers in, and you'll start mounting a defense. And we have like a very robust attack and defense system, much deeper than Bethesda's. It's really, really fun to fight in your settlements, like big battles in your settlements. It's so much fun if you haven't played Conqueror, because it's very dynamic. It's cool to see these gunfights playing out in places that you've built, and there's so many like little hiding places and stuff, and it's just a ton of fun. So we have the mechanics are really, really deep in what you can do, but you also can just like play on autopilot and just like, you know, let troops build up, and you don't like, you can turn, it's just like the rest of SS2 where you can play it as complex as you like it. So if you want to have it mostly on autopilot where, you know, you just tell the game, all right, I'm ready to go attack this location, just bring whoever, then you can do that. Or if you want to get down and dirty and like assign your soldiers different roles, like make them into patrols, if you want to give them individual gear, whatever you want to do to squad them up, like you can get down to that level. And the mechanics are actually they're simultaneously less deep and more deep than Conqueror. So Conqueror fans, you'll know like there was quite a lot of going on with Conqueror mechanic wise, but what we basically are doing is we're eliminating a lot of the like numbers stuff of like having to think about like balancing all these different stats, and it's more focused on taking advantage of the systems we've already got, like the resource system in SS2, and playing with that instead. So there's like more depth from the perspective of you have more options of what you can do, and less thinking about balancing numbers, because that's not the fun part. It's not fun to balance out a bunch of numbers when you're trying to go to war. It's more fun to have options to do cool stuff, and so like that's where we focused we just kind of shifted the depth focus to the fun, I guess, is what way I'd put it. So so yeah, it's war mechanics is what we're bringing to the table with 3.0. And it'll be like, for the story, there's lots of moments where they're necessary and they will make a lot of sense and you'll feel right. And then if you don't like them, you won't have to play them after the story's over. And like the story will kind of be it's like the tutorial, and then there'll be, you know, a handful of missions that involve them. And then after that, if you don't like it, you never have to do it again. It won't have any permanent impact on the way your game sets up. And then if you do like them, we will have systems where you can continue to engage with it after you finish our main quest. So that way people who are just like, I love this war stuff so much, I want to just keep it going, you'll have options to do so. Mr. Joey M78, when the post office settles my disability, I'm going to be Oprah rich and finally build a new PC and experience this way it was meant to be experienced. Last build was a Pentium 4 HTPC. Oh man, that's showing some age there. Yes, a movie quote and true at the same time. Nick Carter, what's your least favorite settlement to build in? I don't know. Let me think. I'm not a huge fan. I don't like really tiny settlements, except like with some exceptions. Like I actually think Hangman's is kind of fun to build in. I'm not a huge fan of like something tiny that's like, I'm not a big fan of like Ten Pines, for example, to build in there. Like I like using a city plan there. Let me think. What are some other settlements? Poor Spectacle without its connection. Yeah, Taffington's kind of rough to build in. Not a big fan of that one. Ten Pines and Outposts, neither of these are great for building in. They're so hilly and so tight that like, and that's because I'm basing it like without SS2, it's a different story, right? It becomes a little more fun to build, but Jamaica Plain I actually find enjoyable in the same way I find Hangman's Alley enjoyable. It's like it's a unique challenge, and like I know I'm gonna have to use interior plots, and there's a lot of structure to do it. And then whereas some of the tighter settlements, there's not as many opportunities for that. So or it's like a pain. You got to build a lot of structures like these two. If you want to use interiors to make up for the space, you have to build a lot of structures yourself, which I usually don't. I'm not a huge fan of having to do that a bunch. Like, I like doing it occasionally, but having to do it for everywhere is kind of irritating. So yeah, I would say one of my least favorite, it's probably going to be Taffington or Ten Pines or Outpost. One of those is probably my least favorite. Let's see here. Sinister, for your new reports, can you confirm it will show specifically what is available for HQ versus the Empire as a whole, or do I misunderstand how the resources are allocated? Yes, that's what that is doing, but there's a caveat there, is that you have to have the supply agreements for that to count. So that's why what I'm planning on doing is and hopefully it will be in the same patch. Let's pop over to HQ and I'll show you where I'm hoping to add this. So I'm hoping to add an extra data point to the HUD in HQ so that you can confirm it definitively, what you're going to have available. Oops. Here we go. Let's head over here. So what I'm hoping to add here is somewhere on this HUD to show you the available surplus resources from the settlements you have supply agreements with. So that way you'll know without having to go into command mode and see the resource numbers, you'll be able to just see it when your HUD's up. So like if you toggle your full HUD to be always up, you'll be able to just see at a glance, like, okay, I know I have this much. So I'm going to do it in one of two places, and I haven't decided which. But let me bring up the full HUD here. Give me a second for the hotkeys to kick in. Where are my status meters?
Bathroom amenities.
I might have to pop in and out to get it to trigger. So either it's going to be on the supply agreement tab, which I think would be a totally legitimate spot for it. I've also, if I can get there, it is the supply usage thing. I've also thought about adding another column to the system on the left. So you see here you have the, recurring usage, temporary usage columns, and then temporary plus recurring usage. Then you have the worker max supported, HQ max supported, and I thought another column at the end of there of like total like settlement surplus. But like I would have to come up with a settlement, maybe it uses the supply agreement icon, like the little logistics icon there, and that's another column. And then like that would make sense to me. Or we put it under supply agreements on the right there, and you just have like a power icon, a food icon, a water icon, and that would serve the same purpose. And you can see, like, because we already have caps and supplies over there, so it would fit in either location, or maybe I put it in both. Maybe it's like it's such important information, we just stick it in both spots to make sure you have access to it. So that's what I'm thinking for that. It's rather than worrying about it on the report, let's just get it right in the HUD for HQ, because it's so important to how you operate in HQ, right? In your settlements, it's not really important whether your network has extra food to that settlement, but in HQ, it's pivotal or critical. I guess both. Uh-oh, we've got our Tinder hot.xyz bot back. Bye user. Donnie Dan, the tutorials are awesome. I was delayed in getting World Repop really moving, but got a full 6 hours in today. Hopefully soon. Oh, Donnie, I can't wait. Contact me when you got something if you're ready to, or if you want to move on getting anything merged into the mod. Because one of the things that's on our agenda for before 3.0 is, or for 3.0 rather, is we want to expand where the doors are to put them in more locations, because they're mostly concentrated in Concord, but I'd love to see them in any of the other little areas like University Point or Lexington. So if that's something you started tackling, I would love to get those doors merged in, or if you have some ideas, because I think that the World Repop I think is going to shine with some of the mechanics we have coming in 3.0. Toriel, when you're done with spoilers, please show something on screen. Okay, I'm going to do this. Can you at people? And yeah, of course, you guys have been doing it to me. At Toriel, done with spoilers. Done with spoilers. There we go. Let's put something on screen. Lachlan, do municipal power poles unlock with power plots? I can't see them at the moment. Yes, they do. So as soon as you get municipal, you should have access to the power pole, but it's in the Sim Settlements menu. So it's not in the power pole menu. You have to go to Sim Settlements, and then if you scroll down to Sim Settlements menu, you'll see there's a power menu. Corey Pizzino, would I need a decent PC to make plots? I have a good laptop, but not made for gaming. Would I still be able to make plots? I mean, the CK is free on Steam. I don't even think you need to own Fallout 4 on PC anymore to download it. I'm pretty sure. I know that's the case for Skyrim. You can just download the CK. So just try it. Go check on Steam and look up Creation Kit and see if you can download the Fallout 4 version for free and see what happens. If you load it up and like I think when you start following the tutorials, you'll see that we have you work in like an empty cell, like the void. Like if you go when you go in there, just everything's gray. So there's not much for it to render. So I think you could handle it on a mediocre PC. You wouldn't be able to do like something like building in HQ because it requires you to load this whole cell while you're working. But plots, you kind of work in like an empty void. So it's pretty, I would imagine it's pretty low end spec-wise. Inky Brushes, how will the big battles in Chapter 3 get around the basic limitations in FO4? Looking forward to them, though. So the battles are, there's two things we're doing with the battles. One, we cap them at number of people. So the biggest the battles tend to get is about 20 on 20. Which is just under the cap of number of NPCs that can actively have AI commands at any given time. But one of the things we're doing that we're changing between Conqueror and SS2's implementation is we're bringing in the idea of waves. So you might take out the first wave and then a reinforcement wave will come in. And that way the battle can kind of feel longer and more epic in certain situations, but won't push the system to its limit. So we had a little bit, we started playing around with the reinforcement mechanics in Conqueror with some of the leader traits, but we never really got into them with the enemies having them, and so that's something we want to explore with the 3.0 patch. But yeah, we have some, and then like one of the things that we have is for like if you have a lot of settlers in the settlement, there's a battle raging around them. Like we'll have ways to deal with that. Like one of the things is sometimes the settlers are held captive. Like in certain situations, the settlers will all be tied up so that their AI packages don't have to do anything. Or we'll make them start running and fleeing to Diamond City so they're just like far away when the battle is occurring. Stuff like that. We'll have little hacks and tricks to make sure that the game engine can handle it. Fortunately, we have a lot of experience with this because we already went through all these growing pains with Conqueror. So now it's just kind of like polishing it up and making it good enough to work with alongside the improvements to the SS2 mechanics. Oscar Fry, do you think you can make the box of ASAMs be labeled as a misc item and not a junk item? Every time I do a junk run, I have to move the box back. Unfortunately, no. The way components work in this game, like for construction, they have to be junk items to work correctly. So it's just a game engine limitation for how they set up their crafting system to work. Like you can force it to work with non-components, but there are some sacrifices with that. I don't remember them offhand, but we went through a lot of testing before settling on them having to be junk items, making the most sense. Oh no, more of this. These silly bots. Okay. Donnie Dane, been working on the area near the Castle Police Station. I'll let you know when I get some that I'm actually happy with. Awesome. That's very awesome. Lachlan, thanks, mate. That's a relief. I thought my game broken. Eric Anderson, I hope they would be easier than H2. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Josh Parkerson, I got disease incapacitation turned off in the holotape, but settlers still getting sick. Showing face with XX and plots say owner confesses. Is there any way to turn this off? So my guess when people have that happen is what happened is the setting got turned on in your local settlement. So what you'll want to do is go here, I'll pop in and show you. You can hop into your city manager, your city planner's desk rather, go to the terminal there, and you'll find that in the gameplay options there's a local settings. And most likely what's happened is some of your settlements, the disease got turned back on at that local settlement somehow. So it could be because of the way we have some of the wizard mechanics set up or something like that. But so let me see if I can find a desk so I can show you. I think it's on the roof here. So if you go to the terminal on your desk and you go to options, gameplay, local settings, I believe that's listed here. Yeah, settler diseases. See if it got turned back on here. Maybe it got turned on some of your local settlements. That's the best I can assume. But yeah, I think Yagi, I think diseases don't, even though like I count them as a disaster from it's a disaster in HQ to get a disease there. They don't technically count under the same system, so they shouldn't be affected by the same setting. Like the disease setting should affect HQ as well. Yeah, moving day is where you first get the HQ radio. You're supposed to get it even with that, like as soon as you get the little notification in the corner that says like Jake is trying to contact you or whatever, you should get an HQ radio silently added to your inventory. I think or maybe that one's, maybe we make that one just happens blatantly. It's not silent. I don't remember. That was it, Josh? Okay, cool. So it was just, it got set locally at your settlement. Yeah, I think that is, so we have a series of settings, and I think it's based on your difficulty level. So like if you're playing with in survival mode, then the default settings for your settlements are going to be pretty intense. So then when you turn it off and then you start building city plans, then they change their options to match kind of your difficulty level. It's one of those features that was like, seemed like a good idea on paper, and for some people I think it's good that I had them on, because they probably, a lot of people would never have experienced some of the hardcore mechanics if they weren't on by default. So like I'm happy we did it, but at the same time, for a lot of folks it ends up being confusing. So I think the only thing that I would like, I think the thing I might want to change is not having it default to mess with those settings. I think no matter what your difficulty level is, just putting yeah, I don't know how to best handle that. It's a tough one. Trying to find that balance of like user friendliness for people, because like you could, you try and make something more user friendly for one group and you make it less friendly for the other. It's a tough one. It's a fine line to walk. It's something I'm always tinkering with. Yagi, I mean, I saw someone thinking about work the other way around, where they turned it off under HQ disasters and thought it was off forever. Yeah, it's like, it's always a tough one to figure out. Of like, sometimes I change something hoping that it'll help new users, and then it makes things work differently for people who are used to, then it changes the way people who are longtime players are used to it working, and then it makes their experience worse. Lately I've been leaning toward, those of you guys who are old hands, you guys will actually ask questions and you read. So it's easier to sacrifice a little of your comfort for the sake of, trying to bring more people into the fold, because the more folks we have around, the more exciting it is to work on this, and it encourages us to keep going. But at the same time, I don't want to get it to the point where the mod ever gets frustrating to use, and I know it is at some point. So like I said, just trying to find the balance of making it easy to use and intuitive, and it's going to be a never-ending battle, I think.
You better not cause any trouble.
Because every time we add a new option, it makes it a little more complex to look at the holotape. Like, I think even sometimes when I pop in the holotape and I'm trying to show you guys stuff, I get my eyes glaze over, and I'm the creator of just being like, oh my god, what option isn't under? There's so many. I don't remember what game it was. I saw they had a really good options menu that I kind of want to emulate, of where it was like the top level was very few, like each level deeper, it just got bigger and bigger. So that way, you could put the most used options at a higher layer. So that way you never had to intimidate anybody with showing them like, here's your 400 customization options, which can make it a little daunting. Like, I know the first time I went to customize a Stellaris campaign, I was like, nope, I don't have time for this. Like, it was just like so many options. It was too much. And like, I appreciate all those options. I'm not, it takes a while. I think I have to like get really sucked into an ecosystem before I'm willing to put in the time to tinker with it at that level. The ultimate solution, I think, is one I've talked about many times, which is I want to get a system where you can export your settings and load up and turn them into a plugin, and that way the next time you play, it'll just instantly spin up all the settings you had last time, because you'll have tweaked them where you wanted them. And then it'll be more worth it for folks to like spend the time and like create their perfect set of gameplay rules. Knowing that, okay, I do this once, and then every subsequent playthrough, there we go. I've got my rules all set up, and it's instant. Sinister One, looking at the unique settler requirements on the wiki, does the comms plot always count as a radio beacon for those requirements? I noticed Amara lists both as requirements. Yeah, it should count as a radio beacon. I believe it does. It's meant to. Corey Piscina, didn't you add a way to auto power your settlements? I keep getting a crash when I get close to the drive-in. All right, so I'll show you the tools for that. So the first thing you'll want to do, if you're on PC, you can just use Workshop Framework. You just go, I'm sorry, yeah, Workshop Framework MCM menu if you're on PC. And then I'll show you how to do it on Xbox. So you're going to go to Workshop Framework, Tools, and then you're going to go to Remote Settlement Recovery menu. And then when you exit out MCM, you'll get this thing to select the settlement you want to try and fix. So then, like, if I select, like, what did you say you're having an issue with? I need to highlight these so I don't lose them. Oh, you didn't say. Okay, so I'll just, like, pick an arbitrary settlement. Like, I pick Spectacle Island. View recovery options, confirm. And then you'll get these options. Now, if you're on Xbox, the only one you'll have is reset location, which will work most of the time. It's not ideal, but it'll work. Otherwise, you can try these other ones first. Like, I would start with repair. If that doesn't work and you still crash, reload the save, then do destroy. Then if that doesn't work, do reset. And reset pretty much works I think it works. I don't think I've heard anybody say it didn't work for them. These two work some of the time, and these are not available on Xbox. If you're on Xbox, instead what you're going to do is go to a settlement that has a chem workstation. Go somewhere with a chemistry workstation. I don't even know if there's one here. So I guess we'll TGM and I'll just build one really quick. And then you can craft a Workshop Framework holotape. So let's do that. And you can get access to the same thing. Now you can run these tools completely remotely, but what I actually recommend you do is get as close as you know you can. There will be some sort of like invisible barrier where if you go any further, oh, I would have to add local leader. Come on. I guess I can do that. I got perk points. And we're not keeping the save anyway. Rank 2. There we go. Alright, let's build ourselves a crafting station. What are you talking about? I have it. Why won't you let me build this? Oh, nothing more can be built. Ha! I was gonna say, I thought that let me bypass the perk requirement, but okay. There we go. There it is. Okay, so we're gonna go here. We're gonna craft, and if you go down to utility, you'll see Workshop Framework controls. We're gonna craft this, and if you go in there, it has the same options as the MCM menu, or most of the same options. So we'll do the Workshop Framework controls. We'll go down to tools and remote settlement recovery, and it does the same thing as it does from accessing the MCM. So after we exit out of here, pops up this thing, we select it, and then you should on Xbox you'll see the reset location option. Now reset location, what that'll do is it will destroy most of the items in the settlement on top of it, but at least it'll let you get there. So it's kind of like it's the best we have available, but it eliminates the power grid that's there and makes it so you can re-enter. Because almost every single time when you're crashing, when you get close to a settlement, it's because your power grid is corrupt. And that is a vanilla bug that Bethesda themselves would need to fix.
If you work, you eat.
And so for us, we just have hacks to try and get around it. Oscar Fry, since you were talking about the mod difficulty setting, I have a question. Do you think you can add a SS2 difficulty option in the game setting menu where you pick the game difficulty? Or you pick the base game difficulty? No, I don't think that we can do that from that. I think you just go to the base game and do it. As far as picking the difficulty of SS2, there is kind of that. So in the City Manager holotape, the first time you load it, you'll get a wizard, which will ask you to pick from 3 modes of play, and those will set the options based on basically easy, medium, hard. And you can actually get that back up if you go to Tools and then Options Wizard. So basically automated is easy mode. City Simulator is the default settings, and that's where it's kind of simulating, you know, how a settlement might act if it were an actual society. And then hardcore mode is like turns on all the hard stuff, turns on the component level complexity, turns on diseases. I think the only option it doesn't turn on is disease deaths, because that is like super hardcore. But it turns on pretty much everything else. Turns on maintenance costs, which is one of the most hardcore settings, where you've got to like not only you got to keep up enough of a production pipeline that you can pay daily costs on all of your resource producers. Hardcore mode is really hardcore. Maybe it's probably overtuned. To be honest, it probably needs to be toned back a bit, which is why one of the reasons I'm gonna get a playthrough going for it, because I want to see just how overtuned it is, if that's the case, and if we need to start pulling back on some of the stuff on that to make it a little less daunting. So yeah, so that's the closest we have to a select your difficulty option. You can just go to that wizard and change it. What it does is by default, when you load up your game, before you run that wizard, which that wizard runs itself the first time you load the holotape, but some people never load the holotape. They'll get it from Jake, or they'll pick it up on the counter and they'll never run it. And so for those folks, and before they start, it picks an option for them, and then it changes it once you answer that wizard. So most folks, I think, in your saves, you're going to get that wizard at some point pretty early on in your SS2 experience, and you can override the default settings, but the default settings are based on your difficulty level. So survival gets hardcore, and then if you're on, like, I don't even remember what are the difficulty levels in Fallout 4? I think I just generally play on normal most of the time. So I think it's if you're on very easy or easy, it puts it on automated. If you're on normal or hard or very hard, any of these three, it puts it on the city simulator. And then if you're on survival, it puts it on hardcore. Oops, I think I just changed myself to very hard difficulty. Ah, well. Let's see here. Oscar Fries, so the vanilla game has the option, fair hair, blah, 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 should have the same options under it. Yeah, I wouldn't know what that would look like, though. Like, the option sets we created, so, like, that, and that's another thing where I think, rather than do that, Oscar, it would be to create the profile system where people could generate mods with their settings, because then people could release their own profiles. They'll be like, hey, I created this new, option set that will make it play like this, and release it as a mod, and then you could almost have infinite difficulty levels that mod authors could create. Because I don't know what a good, like, those are the three sets I came up with that I felt made sense, and finding the degradations within there is up to interpretation. Like, you guys might believe, some of you guys will believe one setting belongs in easy and not in medium or in hard, and instead of in hardcore, etc. And so rather than worrying about that, we just went to the extremes. It was just like, we have one with everything turned off, one with everything turned on, and then one with the middle of the road that felt like these are the features that I think everyone should give a try. And then and that's how we came up with them, which made it really easy, just going to the extremes to come up with, like, reasonable difficulty levels to start with. Eric Anderson, hope the war would be easier than HQ. Oh yeah, for sure. It is. The war mechanics are much easier to adjust than the HQ system. Yeah, HQ is and will be our most difficult system, and we are going to go back and add options to it so it has levels of degradation. Because right now it's kind of like HQ is all or nothing. When you're in the tutorial, like, obviously people who have figured out the options in it, you can tone down the difficulty a lot in HQ, but the tutorial doesn't make it seem that way, and that's something I want to fix. I want to redo the tutorial of that to make it less throwing so much stuff at you all at once, and to acknowledge that concept of automated city builder hardcore. And then, like, present you the tutorial pieces that are relevant to your difficulty level. That's kind of how it, like, HQ getting a streamline, I think, is something that is definitely going to happen. And the first thing that's going to happen, though, to HQ, and this is something that, like, we almost have to have before 3.0 launch, or on the day of 3.0 launch, is a means of automating HQ, so that people who just don't want to do it, or don't want to have to wait that long between the Chapter 2 story end and Chapter 3 story start, we'll be able to speed it up, because it takes a lot of hours gameplay wise to get HQ even to the state where it would make sense for Chapter 3 to start. So we need ways to fast forward that, because for some folks that'll just be one of those, like, this is too grindy, I'm not going to do this, and then they'll never see Chapter 3. So we will 100% be creating that solution, and that will satisfy a lot of folks who are just like, nope, these command acts are too much for me. I will say that most of you, if you're having trouble, if HQ is too much for you, after you do the tutorial, just come in here and I'll show you how to set your options to make it easy mode in the HQ. So you're going to go down to HQ. So for easy mode HQ, here's what you're going to do. You're going to turn off daily spending limits, both of these. You're going to turn on override timers. You can see I've got it on because it makes for better streaming entertainment. You are going to turn off room construction costs, and you're going to turn off supply agreements require leaders. And HQ will get significantly easier once you do that. You'll be able to, like, the hardest thing you'll have to do is just make sure you set up supply agreements with a bunch of settlements, and assign people to all your departments, and, like, just keep doing that, and then you'll be good to go, because it makes it so much easier to build everything once you've got your those options set. Because there's no longer anything like you're having to you don't have to worry about, like, scrap scrap logistics or power engineering anymore with those options off. You just basically look at, do I got enough building materials? Great, build. And it's simple as that. And because of the override timers, it goes really fast. So even if you like make a mistake about which room you build, so one of the things I know, like one of the bigger complaints about HQ early on is not necessarily a complexity issue. It's a, this is a quality of life issue, is that it's not clear which rooms will have living quarters available. So then you just keep testing, cleaning different rooms before you find one, which is something that I need to solve. I don't know how I'm going to solve it yet. Like it's a technical, difficult problem, but it becomes way less stressful if you don't have to worry about limited resources and everything goes so fast. Then you can just like, all right, whatever, I'll just clean everything. And eventually I'll find the living quarters. And that is a lot easier to do when you don't have to worry about day-long timers, which you can turn off with that override timers. Let's see here. Corey Pacina, I'm so happy. Hopefully that works. I sent all my Iran recruits to Starlight Drive-In and I can't get there because of the power grid corrupting. Yeah, that's why. I mean, that was one of the reasons that I added that tool in there. It was like it's so heartbreaking to read people's stories about how they got locked out of their favorite settlements, and I just kept envisioning somebody having that happen to their HQ, and it's like we gotta have an emergency button. We gotta get out of jail card. Like that's one of the things we've been discussing on the developer Discord with people who are doing add-on packs for HQ. Of like, you cannot put anything in HQ that will form a power grid. It's illegal. Don't do it. So like I had to add a big section to our tutorials. Like, don't ever put anything with these keywords on it because we just don't want a power grid to form an HQ, because we're asking people to put all their eggs in one basket. We're saying send all your companions there, send all your favorite settlers there, and you know, put your gear in there. We're asking people to put everything in there. So like that place is sacred. So we cannot have crashing happening there. In fact, I won't be shocked if I eventually add another utility to SS2 that's like, pull everything out of HQ, like have it like bring all the people and send them to the settlements, take all of the items you put in storage and like put them in a workbench somewhere or put them in your inventory, like just fully rescue everything valuable out of HQ. Like that might end up being like an emergency button I add to the holotape one day. Any way to get rid of multiple tape copies of City holotape? I mean, I think you can just drop them, right? I don't think that they're quest items. Fast travel point of GNGN being moved to inside HQ cell happens too early. Start a quest moving date. Did you use quest skipping? I wonder if that's part of that, because I don't remember that happening until after. That's not supposed to happen in the code until after that, but maybe I screwed it up in the quest skipping. Sinister one for reports. Would something that shows your settlement's risk of attacks be possible? I'm not sure how much virtual resource storage is making a difference. Maybe. I'm trying to think of how that, because so the formula for that I think is basically like, if your defense, it's basically like if your defense is over your needs and you won't get attacked, I think is basically how the vanilla system works. And then we're doing we have our own attack mechanics, and there's actually a plot type coming that has to do with like attack likelihood and everything. It's I don't want to talk about it too much because it still hasn't been finished yet. It's still it's just on paper, like roughly what we want it to do. Hasn't been fixed or finished up, so I don't want to talk about it and get you guys hopes up about something that's not going to happen. But yeah, some sort of, could we put something on the defense screen to show likelihood of attack? I believe I could. I'll put that on my list. Likelihood of attack. I don't know how I would frame that. Like, I guess percent chance? Because I believe that's probably how Bethesda has it set up. It'll be, there's some sort of invisible die roll. Okay. So quest skipping is causing it. Did you have the issue, Yagi, with the, I think, well, you probably DM'd me already on the thing, but I think if the HQ radio thing should have happened before you got to them arguing, so I'm guessing you already know one way or the other if you get the HQ radio. But yeah, quest skipping, maybe that's changing the GNN fast travel point too soon. Might be that. That seems like something I would overlook with the quest skipping. Oh, that's right. It does happen after that. Okay. Oh, yeah, yeah, the turret. I'm thinking about the mines. I'm thinking about the scene where they're arguing like, really, with landmines? That's the scene I'm thinking of. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up in like 5 or 10 minutes here. So any last questions, pop them in. Happy to answer. Happy to show you guys stuff in game. Mr. Zach 115, how do Empire supply line works? I'm using IDEC logistics station, and I am sometimes losing the supply line to the castle. How exactly do those Empire lines work? The Empire caravan lines are basically if your settlements have caravan services available, they will connect the settlements together as long as they're reasonably close to each other. So the distance we use is based on Nuka World distances because those of you who've played Nuka World have got used to them. But the distance is 70,000 units, which is right about perfectly Sanctuary to Lexington. So that amount of distance, as long as you have caravan services that close to each other in a, you know, like, so you can kind of bounce from one to the next. So if I have like Sanctuary will connect to Starlight. Starlight will connect to like Outpost Ammonia, and you can kind of like, that's about the range they kind of connect to them. So you need to kind of create a chain of them. So like to connect to Castle, you would want like Nordhagen Beach, or let's see what else is over here. That's a settlement that's close by. Like the one like Spectacle would connect to Castle. Warwick Homestead would connect to Castle. Jamaica Plain would connect to Castle. So you just need to make sure that you have kind of a daisy chain of settlements with caravan services, and they'll all connect to each other. That's how the Empire system works. Sato 404, will you be able to build outposts for multiple factions in Chapter 3? No, we're getting rid of that feature. We had that in Conqueror. Very few people used it, and it way overcomplicated the code. Technically, like, the code would support it under the hood, but I've started shortcutting that and like just assuming that anytime the player is doing something, I can make the assumption I know how it's being handled. So, like, can settlements be controlled by different factions? Absolutely. Can the player be in charge of them? No. You could decorate them like that, though. Like, you could say, like, put a different flag in one settlement and, you know, change the building so it looks like a different. And then you could even, you know, if you recruited a bunch, if you had a add-on pack that made it so that you could have BOS soldiers, you could station them all at that settlement. So you could make it appear that way. But it's hard to explain without getting into story stuff. So, like, technically you could do it from, like, it would visually appear that way. But it's not like in Conqueror, we actually had a system where you could just start up as many different empires as you want. And that is going away because the code to do that was nightmare fuel. Jason Lockrantz, thanks for the stream. Have a great night. Good night to you too. Mr. Zach, so don't enable the option to ignore those lines, use them. I just need to get more settlements correct. I do not, unfortunately, know how IDEX works, so I know he's talked about trying to respect our system because it's different than his, and like trying not to break it, and so I think he put those options in. But if you're having trouble getting everything connected, like, you can just use his system. I assume that I don't know how his system interacts with our virtual resources, though. So, like, again, I'm not a good person to answer this. I'm sure some other users in chat have a lot of experience with IDEX, and they can better recommend to you how to handle it. Corey Pacina, thanks for answering all my questions. You're the GOAT. Keep up the good work. Last question, would it be possible to release like one plot add-on packs if I made some? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think there are people who did that. Like, in that last news video I pointed out one. Chuchu released one that's just like one building plan for people who have the Neon Flats Creation Club thing. It adds one building plan. You can absolutely do that. Especially thanks to the ESL format. It is not a big deal at all to release tiny little mods. Like, people can have so many mods now that it's not a big deal. So yeah, one building plan, that's not a big deal. Man, I can't talk anymore. I clearly need to end the stream here. So yeah, thank you guys all for joining me tonight. Thank you for those of you guys who shot some funds over our way to keep this train going. Hopefully next week will be just before the next patch, so hopefully I'll have some more stuff to show you guys just before the patch comes out. Got some notes down about potential stuff to add to the reports. It's not like the sickness one seemed to be the big one. People want to be able to track their sick settlers, see who's sick, see how many people are sick, etc. So that's a good idea. I can get that in. I think after showing you guys the needs report, I might break it out into its subcategories as their own individual reports, just for quicker access to things. But maybe I'll come up with some sort of combination of things, and we'll get you guys some more data so that com patch. What are we at? 224 next week? Or let's see. Right now we are on patch 223. Yeah, so patch 224. It's going to be about getting you guys more information so you don't feel like you're playing in the dark. But all right, guys, I'm going to take off. I'll catch you in next week.